Maybe if I turn that on and turn that on, they can hear.
Can you guys hear us?
Well, now they should be able to. What have we got here? Where's the clue that you put out? Yeah, we're running late, kids, only because my internet was chucking a fit. And now we go for the mother of all countdowns. What do you mean, Elmings? Jeez. I think somebody's already guessing it before I even read out the clue. Scientists of the day, no more clues.
Oh yeah, because Clive Wells got it.
Ah, Clive.
He didn't even need a clue.
Surf says there's a problem. Unfortunately, we can't hear you. Okay. No, can't hear Blue asking if they can hear us. No, they couldn't hear that, Blue.
They didn't hear that. Okay.
No.
All right.
CGI ducks confirmed. I can hear Paul typing.
Oh, I'm just stepping my way through the quiz to make sure I haven't let any answers come up without, just verifying that I've got everything in sequence.
Okay.
It's pretty handy when the answers come up.
Yeah.
You accidentally pressed the one with the answers full. Only us can see them. And I'll screenshot it and put it to the side.
I've got a feeling we might spend a fair bit of time on the title page of this quiz.
Oh, since I'm running behind schedule, I did have the thumbnail with an image for the little story that we were going to read out, but we won't have time for that tonight because that'll put us way beyond my hours to stream. So we'll do it as we'll have Paul's quiz, and while Paul's doing the quiz or not, we'll have a look and see if we've got anything like a Lindsay or equivalent. So we'll have a look and see what's
Trying to find my live chat. There it is.
Yeah, just see if Lindsay's dropped anything lately. Okay. What have we got? Because we're a week behind, so what has he done in the last week? No. Nothing really. YouTube is just another part of the corrupt system. No, we don't want to bag YouTube out. I'm in enough trouble with them already. Did someone say quiz? Yeah, in a minute. We're just looking for... who else have we got for Derp? Left Derp? Got Flatzoid or DITRH or Chris Berry or Brian Leakey.
Oh, any of those will do.
Yeah, that's what I was looking. Oh, I've been doing Brian, so... Where are we? Where's Brian? See if we can find something from Brian.
So we're live out on the tube, Zoe. Have we got audio out there?
Yeah, we should have.
Okay. So I just thought the Peanuts might like to have a bit of context behind my CGI ducks. And I've managed to put some CGI sound with it. And you can hear what 2,000 hungry ducks sound like. So here you go. All right. There you go.
It's just one noise, like a... What do you call it? Just
there's
one
a,
noise.
There's a tractor there's a tractor going under there somewhere. You can't hear it.
No. just drowns out the sound. And I suppose you'd have to wear earmuffs, wouldn't you? Then if it's like that.
Yeah. And this is towards the end of the feeding session when most of the food's been spread out. So they're not quite as panicked then.
Yeah, but that sounds like more like just the tractor machine going than the duck sound.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You can hear the tractor there mostly, not the ducks, because they're too busy eating now.
What do we got here? What do we got here? A year ago. We've got only 3 inches of sag over 570 feet. 12 numbers something test. This is a year ago. It's a 6-minute one.
3 inches of sag? Sounds like a grandma.
Does math prove reality? It's 2 minutes. Under a spell, deception or stupid. Looks like he's doing it on a phone. They're all done in bloody perspective. Well, since we're doing it from his oldest ones first, so will a generator run on HHO gas? First attempt. Oh, okay. Well, no, I won't. That's 59 seconds. That one. Well, watch this one. Jeez, it doesn't feel like a year ago that he was doing these. Okay, what do we need? We need that. Share to use, guys. In here. Give the peanuts the look. I don't know what the sound will be like.
Alright, so what we got is at the beginning point I had 2 foot 1 1/4. That's way down there by the mailbox. In the middle I had like 2 foot 4 3/8. So it's yeah, about 3 inches. I could probably get it a little bit tighter. I could this is a 15-pound test. I'm gonna try and get it a little bit tighter just to see, but I think it's over 500 feet though. But you can see I took the ribbons down to get it as straight as I could because it had like 7-8 inches of fall with the ribbon on there. But so we're measuring it right here. So this is hold on, this is 250. Okay, we got 50-foot increments, so we're starting at 200 foot right by that ditch. All right, I'm gonna stand right here and you go on. This is yeah, no, don't pull it in further. Just walk on down. Walk on down. Ready and stop. All right, so where you're at's 300. We're tied off that second telephone pole down there. Okay. All right, that's 300. We're just checking the sag and the string line. This ain't proving it. Ready and stop. That's 350 where he's at. This doesn't prove the shape of the earth. It's just a proof of concept. This line's way, even this cheap thin line is way stronger than we thought. It's definitely worth doing the water tests over 3.5 miles. Okay, what's that, 350?
What?
Oh, that's 400? All right, that's 400.
He's comparing doing string line test to doing a water test.
Ready, and keep going.
Yeah, I think he was planning to stretch the fishing line over 3.5 miles across water. I mean, like, how much sag you going to get doing that?
That's what, 450?
Oh, a little bit.
450?
All right.
Can't even see what. Is he just
Ready, a
measuring
little
the
bit further,
ground,
couple
or
more
where's
feet,
he,
and
where's he
stop.
string?
What's that, 500? Man, that's 500. Shit. Man, we went way too far. All right, 500, let's go.
I love the way he says 100.
Huh.
100.
Oh, man.
100. 500.
A little bit
Well,
further, and ready, and stop.
That's his
Boom.
accent.
That's 550.
550.
550, ready, all right. You might as well just keep going to, just keep going to the end. A little bit further right there. All right, whoa, all right, 550 and 570. Let's see, 573. 573.
Man,
I'll
he's a
whoa,
master
Skeeter.
videographer, isn't he?
Yeah, I know.
Got it held out
It's
at 50
perspective.
foot. And we just did 50
I'm
foot at a
getting
time.
dizzy.
So this is like almost 600 feet, man. And we got a little over 3 inches of fall in the middle, and it's not pulled all the way tight. Look here. Look here. It's pretty tight, but it ain't that tight. Look at this.
Somebody's going to
man.
hang
Got
himself
about
if
3
they
inches of
walk
fall
into
with
that.
my instrument. It's really not that damn
Contradicts
tight,
himself
man.
in one sentence.
See this?
It's pretty tight, but it's
Yeah,
not that
it's pretty
tight, he
tight.
says.
I could probably get a little bit tighter, but hey, will you go ahead and just unwrap that? And if you could not break it, then not break it. But if you got to break it, that's fine. But yeah, so you know,
What
3
sort of
inches,
strings are you
not
using?
even all the way tight.
String line.
I'm tired of doing this shit. It's proof of concept. I got some thicker line. I'm gonna test that to see which has got more sag. But I'm guessing I could probably get it down to. I'd probably get it down to
How
about
does
an
he
inch and 500 foot.
determining
That's probably
sag?
what it's rated at. I don't know.
Well,
Bob will never pay the $1,000 either way when he said 300 feet with no sag.
I
The other
seem to
guy who
remember-
said he's a professional fisherman his whole life. I understand that. I mean, except for the fact he doubled down, made me feel like he was calling me out. But I thought I've been fishing my whole
Terry.
entire life too. I grew up on the river.
Terry.
Grew up surfing and fishing
Alan's
on
trying
the
to
river.
say something, man.
Had a boat.
But Paul, I believe
Yeah?
once upon a time you gave us all a lesson in how to calculate the catenary sag, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we actually did a spreadsheet too, and we actually put the calculations up. So, I mean, if he wasn't a flat earther and he was actually able to do calculations, he would be able to calculate how much he would expect it to sag. He should know that it's going to sag, and he should be able to predict how much it would sag. But no, he's a flat earther. He's just going to stretch a string tight and see if it sags. I mean, what does he expect? Of course it's going to sag.
Isn't that a little like sticking your hand in the water to see if it's wet?
Yeah, that's right. You know, like,
Well-
I wonder what happens when I stick my hand in this water. Oh, it gets wet. Gee, I would never have been able to predict that.
Yeah, what happens when I stick my hand in this flame?
Yeah, you know, and before Brian did this, a bunch of us, me included, told him over and over again that it is absolutely physically impossible to pull the sag out of a line. I don't
Yeah.
care how tight you pull it. It
Yep.
is a physical impossibility. One of two
Yep.
things has to happen. You either got to have infinite tension on it, or you've got to have
or no gravity.
mass.
Yeah, no
Weight,
mass.
yeah,
Or no gravity. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Those are the conditions.
Yep.
And he was told it over and over again. How's he measuring this this sag? Is he measuring down to the damn street? Knowing Brian, that's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he measured it from the
Oh, yeah, I'm
string
sure the
line to
street's
the ground
perfectly level.
at intervals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the street has no irregularities in it at all, does it? No.
No. Of course not.
No, that's a perfectly straight and level street.
Yeah.
That's the same street he surveyed,
Yeah.
with the surveying thing, didn't he?
That's the street out in front of his house. That's where he does all of his heavy duty experiments.
my whole life. And man, in my mind, I thought it'd be sagging on the ground too, just like the construction line does. We use that almost every day, and it starts sagging after about 50, 60 feet, sagging a little bit. This fishing line, however, it surprised the shit out of me. It goes a long way. It's not proving nothing, but what it is proof of concept that it's worth doing a long distance test with the string floating on water. And we're going to sink the string line. We're going to sink the string line in the middle of the 3.5 mile stretch. We're going to sink it down 1.5 feet. Okay, we're gonna pull it tight till it snaps. If it in the middle, we're gonna have a camera, and it's gonna be 1.5 feet under the water. So if the water is curving, then then it'll gesture downward. Okay, doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom. Just has to gesture downwards. That means the water's curving. If it tightens up and gestures upward, just even a few inches. I mean, if it makes it to the top, then the water's flat. But if it even gestures up a couple inches above the 1.5 foot depth that we sink it to, that means the water's flat. So this test is definitely worth doing. It's not going to be easy, but it's the only way to do it. We're going to do that. We're going to do the survey, the orthographic survey with 4 stakes at a time. And that's the only way to do this in reality without crying refraction. You know, I hear people on both sides, you know, with excuses. You know, I guess they're all legitimate in their own way, but we're going to eliminate that. We're going to find this shit out for real. Tired of playing games. Peace out.
That sign was spelt wrong.
Man.
It should have wankers ahead, not workers ahead.
Yeah.
Now, you did say if there was any sag,
John
he's going to try a different piece of string.
Yeah. John Rapp in the chat. I'm not sure if that was the conversation where they started talking about neutral density fishing line or what. I don't remember.
Stewie's got a few gestures. I think we all have a few gestures for Brian.
Blue, have you heard Pokuntich's latest claim over on Gems?
No, I haven't. Now what?
It's the one where he claims that if you had a fluid that wasn't compressible, so it's incompressible, completely incompressible, that the pressure wouldn't vary with depth. That no matter how far down, it would be the same pressure. That's what his conjecture is. I mean, how dumb is that?
Well, that's simply brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the slight compressibility of ocean water is what's causing the pressure. Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's suggesting, that's what causes the pressure variation, and that if it was incompressible, it wouldn't vary. The pressure wouldn't vary with depth. And so I asked him a very simple question. I said, well, which would you need more force to lift up, a ton of feathers or a ton of lead? Suggesting that the feathers are, of course, more compressible than the lead. And he suggested that it would take more force to lift up a ton of feathers. He just literally said that. Yeah. Oh, man.
I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to have a conversation with that guy.
Oh, I know. He's just so stupid.
I thought he would have went the other way and said, no, the ton of bricks is heavier, so more force.
No. Kind of cornered him because he was going on about this compressibility bullshit, you know, saying that the pressure transfers because it's compressible, blah, 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 you know. And so obviously with the feathers being more compressible, he had to go with that answer. And he sounded really stupid when he said it.
Oh my.
Mm. What's
Um,
up, Terry? What are you
I'm
doing?
I'm trying to work out what's HHO because his next video after this one is
Huh?
HHO
What's what?
generator. HHO will generator run on HHO gas?
H2O. H2O.
Yeah,
Water, Terry.
It's got
HHO.
HHO. That's the way it's spelled.
Yeah, well, that's two H's and an O, isn't it?
that's two H's and an O. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Only Brian could think
The
of something else to call it, though.
oh, okay. That's what had me confused. Why did you just write H2O? Yeah, that answers my own question then.
So what's his video? Will a generator run on HHO?
Yeah. One goes for 6 minutes and then another one for
Oh, my
59
God.
seconds after.
What? So he's going to fill it up with water and see if it runs?
Well, we could.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
you-
that's
That sounds really dumb.
because I
It
think
is really dumb.
I think the plan would be to use electrolysis to disassociate it and then combust it back to being water again. But of course, they forget that you need more energy to do
More
the
energy to do
electrolysis
that.
than you get back
Yeah.
out of the combustion.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, now you guys are just being spoil sports and throwing all that science shit at us. Come on. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't throw science into the mix. Nothing will work if you do that.
I did watch a video on Cody's lab once where he actually set up a system where he was using PV arrays to hydrolyze water, and he was collecting the gases in at each electrode, and he was collecting the gases in like a little bag sort of thing so that it kept them separate and pure. And then once it reached a certain pressure inside the little bag, it automatically started up a pumping system that pumped the gas in the bag into a gas bottle. And so he was basically collecting the hydrogen and the oxygen into separate gas bottles as the electrolysis sort of progressed. So he could just leave it and it would eventually fill up the gas bottle with hydrogen and oxygen. And then he used it to used it like an oxyacetylene thing to do some welding. Yeah.
Well, at least
You
using
can do
PV
that.
arrays makes a bit of sense. If you happen to have some PV arrays that you're not needing for anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and, well, if you do it right, you can get back most of the energy that you put into it.
Yeah, and the reason why he was doing it because he wanted to continuously hydrolyze the water over and over again and just keep on adding water, not tipping it out. And so, because when you do electrolysis on water like that, the light water has a preference to hydrolyze, and so you build up a concentration of heavy water in the mix as you electrolyze it over and over and over again. And that's basically what the principle that works in the the Norway plant that the Allies blew up.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Exactly.
basically what happens. They electrolyze the water, and as the water gets electrolyzed, you get a higher concentration of heavy water, and then they put that into a next cell, and they keep on doing it. So once they blew up that plant, it would have taken months and months and months to set up the cells again and actually start producing the heavy water, because it takes a long time to actually start producing pure heavy water, or near pure. Yeah.
Alright folks, this is a how-to video on how to make an HHO generator to produce HHO gas. It is lighter than air, so you can fill balloons and float them, or it's flammable, so there's plenty of practical uses for it. But this is a quick breakdown on how to put one together. This is my method. There are other methods with some probably more detailed instructions on YouTube, but this is a good, cheap, effective way to do it. And I'm gonna break it
There's
down
no
for you.
cheap
What
way
you're
to
gonna
do
need
it, man.
is some kind of container, jar. Pickle jar works just fine. You could use Tupperware, something airtight that can handle a little bit of pressure and can hold water. You're gonna need like DC power source, any kind of car battery or lawn battery or whatever will work, you're going to need, they say to use stainless steel because it is the most rust resistant of any affordable metals. And these are prefab wall mounts. They're stainless steel from the hardware store. They're a couple dollars each, but you can just as well cut some old scrap metal. You're gonna need some bolts. Stainless steel, like I said, works best. You're gonna need some metal washers, and you're also gonna need some plastic washers. If you don't have any plastic or nylon washers, you can take old gift card and cut it. It'll serve the same purpose. Old gift card, and pretty easy. So this is how it works. Oh wait, one other thing, you're going to need some
How's he
tubing,
insulating the
some
bolt
kind of
from the
hose,
plate?
something practical that'll fit. And you need some wire. I use jumper cables, which double down for the clamps. Also, they clamp onto the battery. And okay, so let's get into it. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut your plates however big you want them. Each plate you're going to put a big hole and a little hole in each plate. The reason being is because you want to alternate them. You want the small hole, I call that my positive. You want that touching metal. Okay, so when you hook your wires up to this at the end, like this, you don't have to use clamps. You can just twist it on there and use bolts and washers, but you can use the mounts. But anyway, you're going to have positive and negative. I call this my positive, and it's touching metal. Okay, so I have a metal washer on the bottom here. On this one, I have a cloth washer or a plastic washer, and the hole is bigger than the bolt. You do not want this bolt touching metal.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. How's he going to stop?
So that's your first plate. There's your big hole, your little hole. Okay, the big hole, you're going to put your plastic washer down. Okay, and the little hole.
There's a recipe for
put a metal
disaster
washer
when
down.
he's in the shed with
On
the
top
with
of the
stuff
metal
that's
washer,
bloke by the look of
you're
it.
going to put a plastic washer to insulate the next plate. Okay, on top of the plastic washer, you're going to put a metal washer to metalize the next plate. So where the plastic is, that positive is now going to be the next negative. Then you take the big hole and you put it there. So these washers act as spacers also. So same thing here. You're gonna you don't want this touching metal. You might want to make these holes a little bit bigger, so make sure you have a little wiggle room.
Yeah, you think?
So you take the plastic cloth washer, and put it on the big hole,
Oh,
and then a
I
metal
don't
washer.
see anything
And on
good
this,
coming out of this.
on the
No.
little hole, the metal washer, then the plastic washer. So you keep alternating it like that, and then at the end, just put a bolt and squeeze it down. And if they're touching, you could use little pieces of gift card or anything non-conductive to space it out and tighten it down. Usually does the trick, or just leave them in. It doesn't matter. But that's your finished product right here, with the holes drilled through the jar and the tubing drilled through the jar. I use super glue and baking soda because I'm impatient. But you could use silicone or whatever, just so long as it's airtight.
That's probably all he had.
One thing not to forget is to put some type of salt or catalyst in your water. When you use distilled water, and baking soda works just fine. Salt works just fine. They say that you get a chlorine gas.
Yeah, I will,
So
Fred.
if you use table salt, and make sure you use do it in a well ventilated area or outside, or just use baking soda or Epsom salt. But so what you want to do, you put this in here after you add the baking soda, and you screw it in. And then one more thing, you want another jar. Okay, normally, see, this is a double generator, because my next video is going to be all about this and what I'm doing with it, which is going to be cool, so make sure you check it out. But so normally this hose is running into another jar, and this second jar, you want two holes. You want to run this tube down to the first hole to the bottom, fill it up with a little bit of water where it bubbles through the water, so if something happens and it catches on fire, it's like an arrestor. It stops the flame from getting to the source. And then just your other hole, your second hole is just going to be, you don't need it running down any distance in there. just so the gas comes out of there. And then
He puts a
pretty
different
much
spin on the
complete.
title of
And
a
you
mad
just
Well-
decide
scientist.
to blow up balloons or
Yeah.
or
Well,
you can blow
then
up balloons, whichever you want. But make sure you check out my next video.
pause it for a second, Terry.
All right, folks.
Outside.
Because
Finished with.
oh, is that it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Well, he forgot one. Okay, yeah, well, he forgot one thing. What you also need to do is punch 911 into your telephone so it's just ready to hit the send button.
Had that ready on standby.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
because you're probably gonna want to be talking to the fucking fire department pretty soon.
yeah. Especially if
Yeah.
you're collecting both gases in the one jar.
Yeah.
And maybe even the ambulance service.
I mean, that's almost as almost as dumb as the Darwin Award candidate that decided that he would save on gas bottles and put the oxygen and the acetylene in the same gas bottle and then try and weld.
Okay.
Why
not, right?
Yeah, I mean, all you're doing is creating basically a bomb. Yeah.
Just not basic. That's a very sophisticated bomb.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just
Very
put the-
effective one.
Just put a couple of 100 bar of stoichiometrically mixed acetylene and oxygen in a tank.
Yeah. And then light it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. You could have 2 hydrogens for every oxygen in the tank and ignite it.
Hmm.
You know, at a couple of 100 bar. I don't think I would want to be within like 5 miles, but
Yeah.
you know, if you got one of those sort of nearly 2 metre tall tanks that they use for the welding, that would probably make quite an impressive boom, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, they walk among us, you know.
I know we haven't probably watched this video yet, but Fred said Arcs blew about Brian almost produced mustard gas once.
Oh my god.
So I'm assuming Blue might know about that, but that's what Fred said.
I mean,
I'm
they
trying to
definitely-
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do walk among us. I worked for a guy once that his notion of he left school at year 8, and he was trying to tell me that evaporative air conditioners work better if you put hot water in them because it takes less energy to evaporate the water. I mean, go figure.
Yeah, that'll work. Oh, yeah. That'll work.
I mean, the whole point is it's the energy that's used to evaporate the water that cools the air down. So if you use less energy to evaporate the water, it's not going to cool your air down as much, is it?
Yeah.
Man.
Let's build a swamp cooler and put hot water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Did that once in Gibraltar. Stuck in a room with only a fan in one of the hottest summers they'd had up to that point, which was 1980. So we put the table in the middle of the room, stood a chair on top of the table, stood the waste bin on top of that, and then put a plastic bag in it and filled it with water, and so it was sort of directly underneath the fan, so that it would keep stirring everything around. It was marginally successful. I think we needed more water, really, or at least
Yeah,
more
well-
surface area.
In those duck sheds that you see in my background there, when the temperature gets at around about 28 degrees Celsius, the fans come on. And when it gets to about 32 degrees Celsius, we have devices called foggers that come on. And the fogger pump is basically a pump that pumps the water through these very fine nozzles. You can't even freaking see the hole in the nozzle. It's so fine. And it pumps it through at 1,000 psi. And a very, very fine mist comes out of those nozzles.
Yeah.
And it basically evaporates into the air immediately and cools the air down. So, yeah, very effective.
2 fluid atomizers. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're dual fluid atomizing nozzles. Yeah, I know.
Well, there's a 59-second follow-up video. So this will probably wrap it up for his,
For the dumb shit.
Yeah, no, for his HHO gas.
Okay.
We'll generate a run on gas first attempt.
Give it a try. It's been a couple minutes. I cap the end off to keep the gas in.
Keep pulling.
Something right or wrong.
Something's wrong.
Be careful.
Something's wrong. Wonder what it
Hard to
is.
run. I better check this thing out. Don't take this shit lightly, guys.
Okay.
I thought these idiots usually usually had the things running on petrol or whatever,
And then switch
and
it
then
over.
just feed some hydrogen oxygen mix in to give it a little boost, because obviously their machines can't really produce the gas at the sort of rate you would need to keep the thing running anyway.
No, it wouldn't. No.
Yeah, and of course you'd need a pressurized feed to push the stuff into the
cylinder.
engine.
Yeah.
Need to be hauling a 30-foot trailer around behind your car with enough equipment on it to make it go.
Yeah.
What was that gas they used to fill up the balloons on top of a car with back in the 20s or whenever it
That
was?
was natural gas.
Natural gas.
Yeah, I mean it's quite easy to make a car run on fuel other than petrol or diesel. You just have to make sure you get the mixture right.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And make sure that it goes from the tank to the engine without leaking out somewhere else in between.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the problem with those gas bags.
Preferably to make sure that it doesn't get into the passenger compartment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what will kill you first, the gas build-up or the potential explosion.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. There's quite a few people that have found out that it's not a good idea to carry for any length of the period of time gas cylinders in your boot that aren't designed to go in there.
Yeah.
Because if they leak, they tend to fill the boot up, and then when you do something like put your indicators on or your brakes on, and a little spark happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half of your vehicle disappears.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And of course, back then, almost everybody smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine sparking up a tab and boom.
Ryan's been talking about building a Cavendish.
Uh-huh.
That ought to be amusing.
That ought to be amusing, yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
I'm sure the precision won't be in it.
No.
Yeah.
You'll probably use plastic balls because they're cheaper than lead.
Well, let's give him a chance.
Yeah.
He might surprise us. Probably not, but you never know. Yeah,
What
that's
was
right.
that? What was that?
That's
Oh.
exactly right, Matt. Car
Yeah.
fall down, go boom boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt wants me to play one of his videos, or he's gonna be very upset.
Oh, let's play a Matt video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where's your video, Matt? Jeez, I'd have to go. Oh, here it is. How long ago did he drop that? Oh, it's offline. How can I play it if it's offline? That's clever. Well, I'm not playing it then.
Is it real? Is it really offline, or is it just your internet, Terry?
No, we're not offline. It says live stream offline. There you go.
Clive Wells says, but will it be a Cavendish seismometer?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
How long ago?
I hear they had another Mag 7 over in Mexico the other day. Blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Mexico City.
You know, I learned something. I learned something. The USGS person that I've been talking to, and I didn't know this, but I don't know a damn thing about seismometers. Some of the early seismometers were actually torsion balance seismometers. You can build one like that, and it's scarily similar to Cavendish. The main difference being that it's eccentric.
Yep.
Where my beam is balanced, those are eccentric. So any motion will cause that thing to twist. Very cool.
Yeah, I'll play your. I did see your video there earlier, Blue. I'll play that after. I'll have to go back.
Which one?
There was one.
You
Sure,
know,
I've seen one.
you know that Dora would, you know that Dora would like you to play Matt's one, and then Mr. 42's video, and then Wally's video.
So it's 3 videos.
But you have to be careful because Mr. 42's is a mirror of Matt's, and then Wally's is a mirror of Mr. 42's.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're all basically the same.
So it's like
Yeah.
Matt's video with an introduction from Mr. 42,
Yeah.
and then I think it's Wally introducing the video with Mr. 42, then also introducing Matt. But I suppose you could just do those introductions.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, that's Blue's video. The Cavendish torsion balance detecting an earthquake one. Because we didn't play that. Just didn't realise I was that far back behind. Oh, I'll go back into them and see if I can find any more later. Seem to be way behind. Yeah, we'll play Matt's and then we'll do a quiz, hey Paul?
Yep, righto.
So that Wolf says a triangle of videos with sides of 1, 1 and 1.
One.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt reckons he was going to get upset if we didn't play his.
Yeah. Oh, and Matt, I might have seen Mr. 42's version of it first, but I did play your video all the way through and gave you a thumbs up so that you got the watch time.
Do we play it at Matt's speed or?
Yeah, play it at normal speed.
Okay.
I think.
It goes for 12 minutes.
Well, I don't remember it being stupidly slow.
Okay.
Hi, Matt B here, M2M. First of all, before I go ahead with this video, I just want to thank you, the viewers, for sticking around with me. I know I changed my format recently, and it's quite a lot different to what content I used to do going back a year or so ago. So I really, really appreciate you coming to view the videos and sticking with me. I'm not monetizing my channel, so it's all free to use. I'm doing this as a hobby, so I hope you can enjoy what I'm sharing. So also as well, if you're new to the channel, please click below, click on the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. I'll also hit on the bell icon, so then you'll be notified when I upload some more videos. But above all, the best thing you can do actually for me is comment below. Let me know what you think about the video, let me know what you think about this person, and just let me know if I can improve anything.
You're being honest there. I hope Matt's being honest there. We can actually give him an honest opinion.
So, what's this video about? Well, again, it's about Level Earth Observer, or Adam, and he's making a bit of a pathetic attempt at debunking the James Webb Space Telescope, as I'm about to explain. So, let's play the credits and see what it's about. Okay, so here's the video in question. As I said, Level Earth Observer, entitled Flat Earth, the James Webb Space Telescope exposes itself. Well, as I'm just about to show you, Level Earth Observer, or Adam, is about to expose himself as a liar, or an idiot, or both. Probably both. So anyway, let's get into the video and let's see what he's got to say about James Webb.
So I'm going to have a quick look at the James Webb Space Telescope, which is the successor, supposedly, to the Hubble Space Telescope. This gets launched supposedly later on this year. James Webb Space Telescope.
So far so good. Yeah, it's due to be launched October and November, I think. I'll have to check that later.
We've got the usual cartoons. Instruments on the James Webb Space Telescope. So not only is it a space telescope, but it would seem we've got 4 new instruments on this space telescope. The NIRCam, the NIRSPEC, the MIRI.
Well, they're not new because the whole James Webb Space Telescope is new itself, so they haven't put anything new on it. This is what they plan to put on from very early on.
And the FGS. Okay, so it would seem not only is the James Webb a space telescope, but it would seem it's got 4 new instruments.
Okay, so just please note what the instruments actually are. They're all involving, as you notice, if you read each one, is infrared, near-infrared camera, near-infrared spectrograph, mid-infrared instrument, fine guidance sensor, and near-infrared imager and slitless spectrograph. Okay, so it's all to do with near-infrared, and this is what James Webb is mostly about, all about the near-infrared range.
Instruments on there to make it better than the Hubble. Of course, a lot of people who visit this channel will be fully aware that a lot of the imagery that we get cited that supposedly comes from Hubble will of course be aware that it actually comes from the 747 aeroplane with a telescope on that many of us know as SOFIA.
Yes, SOFIA is a real thing, but no, the images that we got, the SOFIA is not capable of producing the same level of instruments that I have from Hubble. Not even close. Not even close.
And that kind of got me thinking, with the announcement of this James Webb and this new spec they've got here on this telescope, and of course with me knowing about SOFIA, and of course SOFIA being
just about to show he actually doesn't know much about SOFIA, to be honest with you. He might know of it, but he doesn't know anything about it, and that's quite clear.
Responsible for a lot of the imagery we see that comes supposedly from Hubble. That got me thinking.
No.
I wonder, has the SOFIA got a new upgrade package lined up here that would potentially do the job of the James Webb Space Telescope? Remember, we've got 4 new instruments on this
Not new.
James Webb Space Telescope, as well as the telescope itself. Shall we have a look? Shall we see if the Sophia's got any new upgrades planned for this year that might tie in time-wise with his James Webb Space Telescope?
Here we go. He's gonna say it, isn't he? He's gonna say it. Let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
Bingo. So this is his gotcha moment, but I'm going to show in a minute that he's actually been pretty dishonest. So you'll see. So let's let him have his couple of minutes of glory.
And strangely enough, when we come here, the Universities of Space Research Association, we see Sophia is due a massive upgrade. Sophia upgrading one-of-a-kind camera.
Yeah, they're upgrading it. Yeah, they are.
We scroll down here. Sophia is upgrading the high-resolution
Right, notice that he stops scrolling. This is as far as he goes. Just make a note of that.
airborne wideband camera plus with 4 new detectors. Remember that, 4 new detectors that will allow it to study magnetic fields in distant galaxy 4 times faster than its current rate. But if we think back just now to James Webb,
Make a note, like I said, he did say it himself, 4 new detectors that were allowed to study magnetic fields.
Magnetic fields, which aren't IR fields.
the spec on that space telescope, what made it better than Hubble, it had 4 new instruments, didn't it? Do you remember? Bear with me.
Yeah, we do remember, Adam. Yeah, because it was only like a minute ago.
Here, this was the 4 new instruments on the James Webb Space.
Yeah, as was said, just pointed out, near infrared, mid-infrared, and fine guidance sensor near infrared. What's it got to do with what you're talking about? Are those the instruments that are going to be upgraded? Nothing.
Telescope, which is going to make it so much better than the Hubble Space Telescope. And then, of course, we come.
Yeah, there it is. Magnetic fields. Nothing to do with near infrared, though, is it?
Back to the Sophia with its new upgrade of its camera this year, and of course with 4 new detectors.
Yeah, 4 new detectors to study magnetic fields. Not near infrared. They're not the same.
Sensors, essentially. Thus giving it game away.
Really?
The Sophia upgrades, it would seem, are exactly the same as the spec of the James Webb Space Telescope.
Except they're not, because you've just debunked yourself. It's got nothing to do with infrared. The ones for Sophia to study magnetic fields. What's that got to do with viewing stuff in near infrared and mid infrared range? This is pathetic.
The Sophia gets its upgrade later this year into next year. The James Webb is scheduled to be sent into space at the end of this year.
Right, but here, this is where he's actually lying, right? Because I've actually found the article, this exact same article, and as I said before, did you note that he didn't scroll down? So here's the article, right? If you scroll down a little bit further, it talks about the upgrades. And where is it? Where's the date that it's going to be upgraded? Where is it? You see it somewhere? There we go. The upgrade is expected to be completed by 2023. Oh dear. But you said it was going to be upgraded later this year. But you didn't scroll down to that bit though, Adam, did you? Oh dear, oh dear. I mean, he only scrolled down to where it says about Margaret Minxner, the director. And he stopped. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Suppose you've got a lie to flirt, haven't you? Anyway, let's go round to the into the more of the article. It talks about what the different upgrades are, but it's got absolutely nothing to do with the James Webb Space Telescope, has it, Adam? Nothing to do with it whatsoever. So you got the date wrong, and they're completely different detectors. The only thing you've got is it's the same number of detectors. What does that prove? 4 and 4. Oh dear, Adam. Anyway, let's just see what else he's got to say. Not much else, to be honest, but let's have his little bit of glory, shall we?
And will be operational over the next year or so.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
The timelines are exactly the same.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
The spec is exactly the same.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
4 sensors to add to the space telescope that the James Webb Space Telescope is, to make it so much better than the Hubble. But at the same time, Sophia, which of course most of us know is the Hubble anyway, is getting
Wrong, 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 wrong.
an upgrade to its camera with 4 new detectors.
Oh wow, you realise that they're the same number. Well done, Adam. But that's all you've got. They're nothing to do with each other at all.
You can't make this stuff up. They're
No, you can't, can you, Adam? But you just did. You just made it all up.
telling you it. They're literally telling you and showing you. We know this anyway, but it becomes very obvious when you compile this information and the timelines give it away.
Yeah, but some of the timelines, you just completely lied about the timelines, Adam. I've just showed it's the same article. There it is again. Oh dear. Upgrade to expected to be completed by 2023. 2 years after James Webb was launched.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, Adam. You've been caught lying, Adam. And oh dear me. Well, Adam, your video, this pathetic video, has just been burned.
He said 4.
That was pretty stupid.
You said 4, Matt.
Here's the challenge, though, Matt, and maybe one of these days you and I ought to do a collab on this. We ought to search and see if we can find a video that a Flurf did where they're not lying.
I don't think you
that
can
would
do
be a
that.
challenge. That's a
That would
hard
be
challenge.
I can think of one video that is titled Flat Earth Proof that doesn't have any lies in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen that
Blue.
one.
Yeah, Blue.
I've seen that one. Okay, well, that may be the one we choose to evaluate.
I can guarantee that I'd never lied in that video.
And all the Flat Earth proofs are completely undebatable.
Yeah.
They are.
I even challenged Paul to check my math and my science in that video.
Yep. Apparently, when I look sideways, my nose vanishes.
It does. Parts of your
Okay.
head go away.
I maybe need to sit a little bit closer so the algorithm will detect my face a bit better. It must have something to do with the lighting, or who
I was
knows.
going to say, given up until maybe even a year ago, how hard it was to light a green screen properly to get even a half decent green screen effect.
Yeah,
What we're getting now is absolutely stunning.
because it's not a green screen. There's no green
No.
screen there.
Exactly. They're doing
Yeah.
it without the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they've like real ducks behind
hopefully.
you. They're running around your bedroom there.
Yeah. It's funny. They are.
Or you're sitting out. Well, actually, you're sitting on the tractor. Actually.
Yeah, yeah. Like and it's
Sitting
it's
on the
light
steering
outside
wheel
there, but
going
it's dark
backwards.
outside here. Yeah, yeah. driving backwards.
Yeah, you're driving backwards on the tractor, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Wolf says, at least Lindsay is undebunkable and understandable.
Yeah, I understand both.
Yeah. You can't make any sense out of it at all.
No.
Yeah. Well, you ready for a quiz, are you, Terry?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I mean
you know
it,
the
but
rules.
I'll say it.
Yeah. You know the rules. DM me the answers. Don't DM Terry the answers.
Well, no one's done it
Get the
yet.
chat up. Get the chat up.
What's that?
Make sure I don't type in the wrong chat.
Yeah. Okay. The hard quiz. Number 51. When you're ready.
I'm not ready yet.
You're not ready yet? Tell
No.
me when you're ready.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you when I'm ready. Hey, Peanuts, let us know when you're ready. Just wait for the Peanuts. Just wait for the Peanuts to let me know when they're ready.
Yeah, yeah. No, you've got the wrong answer, Carl Edwards. It's hard nipples, not just nipples. It's a hard quiz, not just the quiz.
Dora said, "Stop staring at the screen." Well, I haven't got it full screen.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. Question number 1.
Nitty.
Right. Cold case investigator Mike Chazinski was tasked with looking into 4 rolls of film taken in the immediate aftermath of this event, but not developed until about 20 years later. What was the event? So apparently some rolls of film were taken of this event, but not developed until 20 years later. What was the event?
I was supposed to do that to you, not to everyone.
No, Terry, that's not right anyway, so you can all ignore Terry's answer anyway. Not the Kennedy assassination.
Well,
no.
it's the same as what I said.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of
No.
us have said that.
No, yeah, a lot of you have said that, no.
Okay.
An electrician named Gary Smith was the first person to learn of this event. Not the Kennedy shooting. Everyone seems to think it's the Kennedy shooting.
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
not. It's not the Hindenburg. No, not the Hindenburg. Okay, another clue. Oh, you're taking off into space, Alan.
Well, because I had problems with my top-up key for the electric, I couldn't put the washing. And everybody's been moaning that I haven't been having the washing machine going.
Yeah, well, we've
So I
got
thought,
it tonight.
bugger it, I'll turn it on
Yeah, there you go.
and leave the door open so we can hear it.
Yeah. Duff McKagan sat next to the person at the centre of this event on a plane ride a few days before it happened.
Am I close?
Not Noah's Ark. Let's have a look. No, you're not right, Terry. Not a meteor. No. Okay, another clue. Michael Pitt played a character named Blake in a 2005 Gus Van Sant film that lightly fictionalised this event. The guy who jumped out of a plane with millions. No, that's not the one. Not one of the moon landings. Ah. Another clue then. People who gathered at the Seattle Center on the aftermath of this event were read a text that referenced a man's imaginary childhood friend named Bodda. Ah. That is correct, Blue, and right when one of the Peanuts has got it too. Well done to First Death. And Big Blue for Kurt Cobain's suicide.
Never heard
In the
of it.
days leading up to this event, one group pulled out of the Lollapalooza tour. Courtney Love read at a vigil following this event. Name this event in which the lead singer behind Smells Like Teen Spirit took his own life. It was, of course, as you've said, Kurt Cobain's suicide.
Never heard of it.
That is your washing going to be finished soon, Alan?
No. Is it really
It's a little bit
annoying?
annoying. It is a little bit annoying.
It's not
Would
loud.
you-
It's not loud annoying. It's just
Not loud, but it's annoying.
Would you like to pause while I go and shut the kitchen door?
Yes.
I don't know if it'll absolutely 100% help, because at the moment I think it's about to go into 1400 RPM spin speed.
Okay.
That's when it goes mentally loud.
Ah.
It's not very
Will
loud.
match the rotation of the Earth, will it?
It's not very loud.
No, it'll be it'll be
Which is louder, the washing machine or Paul?
It'll be 120 million times faster than the rotational speed of the Earth.
Yeah.
There you go.
Miro said, "Can we go
Okay.
back to the start?"
Heck.
You haven't got a mute button on your microphone, have you? Okay. I'll forge on anyway. Question 2. A woman who was raised among practitioners of this activity on Lant Street is tricked into entering an insane asylum by Gentleman Rivers in a 2002 novel.
Right, I've shut both of the doors in between, so we should be good to go now, Paul. Okay.
Thank you. I'll read that clue again. A woman who was raised among practitioners of this activity on Lant Street is tricked into entering an insane asylum by Gentleman Rivers in a 2002 novel. What activity are we talking about? Not flat earthing, not flurfism. Okay, another clue. A character who engages in this activity exclaims, "I am an Englishman. Where are my privileges?" while on trial. Not gambling, not medium, not Wicca. Okay, an archaic euphemism for this non-sexual activity titles a novel by Sarah Waters about the Trinder, about Sue Trinder. Not rooting, it's non-sexual activity, First Death. Therefore it's not prostitution either, Broomfondle. While living on Saffron Hill, the title character of a novel initially believes that a group that engages in this activity makes handkerchiefs for a living. Not swimming. Okay, Mr. Brownlow attempts to save a boy from getting caught up in this activity after Charlie Bates targets him with it. Not smoking weed, Alan. No. Okay, Fagin trains a group of children to engage in this crime. Alan's typing again. What's he going to type this time? That is correct, Alan. And so I can acknowledge that the first person to get it right in the Peanuts was, I think it was Vroomfondle, followed closely by Andrea Huddle, with a different word but describing the same thing. Okay. The Artful Dodger excels at what type of street crime in Dickens' Oliver Twist? It is, of course, pickpocketing. Well done.
Got to pick a pocket or two.
Yeah. Okay, question 3. One form of this substance gained national attention when Harry Coover used it on host Gary Moore on a 1959 episode of I've Got a Secret. What substance was it? Not weeds. Okay. When scanning for fingerprints at a crime scene, forensic scientists may add a few drops of this material and then heat the mixture to about 100 degrees Celsius. That is correct, Big Blue. Well done. Not chloroform. Not chocolate. That's correct, Alan, as well. And that's correct, Carl Edwards. Well done. This one went off quickly. The answer was glue, or more specifically, superglue or cyanoacrylate. When a Swedish immigrant named John Back overheated a pot containing this material, he started the Great Seattle Fire of 1889. There you go. A compound called cyanoacrylate is the primary ingredient in many examples of this material, including those sold under the brand name of Duro. A common expression for when horses are put down is that they are sent to the factory to make this substance by boiling their tissue. So the answer was more general than just superglue. The answer was, in fact, just glue. Well done. Question 4. Wikipedia claims that a nickname for these objects that developed in the 1920s may derive from a mistranslation of a Spanish term meaning really handsome. What are these objects? I don't hear any typing, Alan. In 1956, Lewis H. Nasmith received a patent for a giant one of these things that served as a canopy for drivers for his gas station on Highway 99 in the Georgetown neighborhood of Seattle. No, not a cantilever roof. Salva-Kiir Maverdit is almost always seen in public wearing one of these objects, a gift that the President of South Sudan received from George W. Bush. A wacky waving inflatable arm. No? Okay. A 2011 trend piece in the New York Times noted how musicians like Luke Bryan deliberately did not wear this type of clothing common among their genre peers. You're right, Blue, but I'm after a more specific type of one. You're right too, but the wrong type of one, Alan. We do have a correct answer out in the peanuts. One of the most popular versions of these objects is officially called the Boss of the Plains and was first manufactured in 1865 by John B. Stetson. That is correct, Alan. Yes.
I did get Stetson before you said Stetson.
Yeah. Name this type of object worn on the head of most of the men in westerns. It is, of course, a cowboy hat. Okay. Question 5.
You know your
What?
Discord notifications are showing up on the bottom of the screen, don't you?
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, doesn't matter. I can't stop that at the moment. One of these buildings in Seattle was opened with a week-long housewarming and carnival in 1916 that featured Captain the Horse with the Human Brain. What building was it? What kind of building? No, okay. Boston University's William D. Moore wrote a book about the masculine archetypes present in these buildings. Not a sanatorium. Not the Space Needle. No. One of these buildings in Seattle was converted in 2014 to become the SIFF Cinema Egyptian. Not a museum, not a gym, not an art gallery, not an asylum, not a skyscraper, not a cinema, not a library or a hospital. The Great Depression doomed the largest of these buildings in the world, a 14-storey, 1,000-room behemoth constructed in Detroit, whose topmost theatre was never completed. What type of building was it? What was it? Not an auditorium, not a gym, not a hotel. You're on the right track, M2M, but not the right kind. Music from Mozart's Thames, King of Egypt, is often played in these buildings, where people with titles such as Tyler and Senior Warden meet. Wank tank, no. Not a brothel, no. That is correct, Alan. Not a dance hall, not a hospital, not a prison. Not a police headquarters or an opera house. No. People in these buildings usually obey a system of 25 landmarks named for Mackie. Come on, Peanuts. Alan's got it. He knows what it is. Not a palace, not a mortuary, not Terry's house. Ooh, Terry wouldn't like to be accused of being one of these. These buildings were presumably much hated by a political party that nominated William Worth for president in 1832. And finally, we have a correct answer out in the peanuts from Buck Turgidson. They are Masonic lodges or Freemasons' halls. Yeah, name these types of buildings where members of a secret society meet. They are Freemason halls or Masonic lodges. Well done. Okay, question 6. Matthew Polly, author of a recent biography on this man, notes how many people were hospitalised for shock and minor injuries at the larger of 2 funerals held for him. Who? Not Gandhi, Alan. No. Okay. This graduate of Edison Technical High School once had a job putting ads into editions of the Seattle Times. Not Elvis Presley, not Superman. Not FDR, Alan. No. Not Martin Luther King. No. A 2014 exhibit at the Wing Luke Museum asked, "Do you know this man?" No. This man's decision to surgically remove his sweat glands may have contributed to his death. Not Henry VIII. Not Rudolph Valentino. Not Jimi Hendrix. No. I had no idea that this man had removed his sweat glands by surgery.
I didn't know you could do something like that. Considering
Yeah, apparently you
I thought
can.
you had lots of them.
James Coburn and Steve McQueen were pallbearers at the other funeral for this man, where he was buried in Lakeview Cemetery. Not John Wayne, Alan. No. He was born while his father was touring with an opera company across the United States and appeared in the 1941 film Golden Gate Girl as a 2-month-old. And finally, we have some correct answers out in the peanuts, but not internally yet. 10,000 people each year apparently visit his grave in Capitol Hill, and that is right, Alan. It is Bruce Lee. I think the first person to get it out there was Clive, was it? Clive Wells? Yeah. Well done, Clive. Bruce Lee was the man. Surgically removed his sweat glands. Named this star of Enter the Dragon and other kung fu films, it was, of course, Bruce Lee. Okay, question 7. In 1895, J.E. Mace happened upon 80 tin cans filled with this stuff that had washed up on Vashon Island. What was the stuff? Not spam. No. Albert in a can. No. 2 years earlier, Hattie Stratton earned the nickname the Petticoat Smuggler for getting busted bringing this good into Port Townsend, Washington, hidden under her skirts to avoid the $12 per pound tariff on it. Not apricots, Alan. No. Not canned chicken. Not beer. Not jam. No. This compound was the active ingredient in popular patent medicines such as Hooper's Anodyne and Mrs. Winslow's soothing syrup. Not sugar. Not pineapple for pizza. That is correct, Alan. Now, we've got a close answer out in the peanuts, but not quite right. Irish Stew almost got the answer correct, but it's not quite right.
I think M2M might have it.
Where is he? Is he out there somewhere? That is correct, yeah. M2M. Yes, that is correct. Well done, M2M. The answer was, in fact, opium. Yeah, Paracelsus came up with the innovation of mixing this compound with brandy to create a liquid that was frequently used by Victorian women and to help infants sleep. Wow. A year's supply of this good was burned in 1838 by Commissioner Lind. Some 25% of society was addicted to this substance in China in 1839. Named this drug, which lends its name to two wars the British fought against the Chinese. The Opium Wars.
Yeah.
Opium was the correct answer. Yeah.
Because we didn't want to grow it. We just wanted to make sure we controlled the trade.
Yeah.
to 25% of the Chinese population.
Yeah. Question 8. This event had a profound impact in the town of Concrete, Washington, because it coincided with a blackout. What was the event? Okay. An opera based on this event, composed by Annie Gosfield, had Sigourney Weaver giving updates from the parking lot and featured a cameo by LA Mayor Eric Garcetti. Not the pickled fish shortage. No. Not a flood. No. Not the ham collapse. Not a solar eclipse. Not an explosion. During this event, a woman rushed into an Indianapolis church service and declared, "Go home to die with your loved ones." This event described happenings near Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
Do we have a cats in the peanut gallery?
We had a cats in the peanut gallery. I think you did. I think you better make him.
Not a meteor landing. Kind of is a meteor landing, I guess, Alan, but yeah, it wasn't really a meteor. A 1940 study by Hadley Cantrell estimated that some 1.2 million people were suckered by this 1938 event, which prompted a lot of hand-wringing by newspaper editors for new FCC regulations. Come on, internal chat. It's not a dam collapse, no. The peanuts are right onto it. I'm interested what Alan's writing now. That is correct, Alan. Finally. The War of the Worlds was the correct answer. Now, who got it first? Right, I think it was... I see Spooky Bedhair's got it there. Irish Stew got it. Carl Edwards got it. War of the Worlds. I think he was first. Yeah, the correct answer was War of the Worlds. This event was staged by the Mercury Theatre under the direction of Orson Welles. Named this radio broadcast of an H.G. Wells sci-fi story, it was War of the Worlds. What's Alan typing now?
I was just sticking something in the other chat.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yep.
Since I knew I had a bit of a gap between answers.
Yep. Okay, question 9. Only 2 questions left. The first dock entertainment game to use an array was a clone of a TI-83 game by Harper Maddox, named for one of these types of disasters. What was the disaster? The coolest scene in a Liam Neeson narrated Greg McGillivray IMAX documentary is one of these events. Yeah. After the deadliest example of one of these events in US history, one town renamed itself Thai to avoid bad publicity. No. In that deadliest disaster of this type, some 96 people on board the Spokane Express were killed in Wellington, Washington in 1910. A wolf attack? No. Some 10,000 Italian and Austro-Hungarian soldiers were killed in this manner in December 1916 on the Tyrol front. That is correct, Alan, finally. Yes, we've got lots of answers out in the peanuts, but none of them are correct so far. Not a hurricane, not a mud flood. I guess it's similar to a mud flood, but not a mud flood. Not a slide. In 1618, the town of Pleurs, Switzerland, was destroyed by one of these events. That is correct, Andrea. An avalanche, and Dora. Dora got it first by the look of it. Well done, Dora. It's an avalanche. Homer and Mr. Burns suffer from cabin fever after one of these events in an excellent Simpsons episode. White Friday in 1916 killed people in what fashion by burying them in snow? It is, of course, an avalanche.
And what happened down in Mount Kosciuszko at
Yeah. Yeah, quite a few years back. That was a long time ago, Terry. Question 10, final question. Some pearl clutcher wrote to Robert Kennedy asking him, how can we stamp out this menace, in a letter about this song? What was the song? Okay. In that same Freedom of Information document, an FBI agent noted that this song was very popular at Sarasota High School and contained obscene lyrics. Not Happy Birthday. Not Imagine by John Lennon. Not an Elvis Presley song. No, not Rock Around the Clock. Not God Save the Queen. A popular local cover of this song was made by Paul Revere and the Raiders, and it was discovered by a Tacoma record store employee who cut a version with the Fabulous Wailers. Not Peggy Sue. Not Jailhouse Rock, not Rock Around the Clock, not a Rodeo song. In the 1980s, the Washington State Legislature considered but ultimately did not adopt a resolution making this song the state song. It would have been an interesting state song, I can tell you. Not the twist, no. The narrator of this song says, catch the ship across the sea and never think I'll make it home. Not Holy Crud? Its chorus goes, oh no, no, no. Me gotta go. Yeah, 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 baby.
I mean, at least I know
Come
what
on, come
supposed to be
on.
what it is, but I can't think what it is.
Ah, okay. It was originally written as a calypso song by Richard Berry. Name this rock song made popular by the Kingsmen with a repetitive title. Oh, come on, internal. The Peanuts have got it. The Peanuts have got it. You don't know the song?
It's. Did I? Oh, did I just? Where the hell did I just type that?
I'm not sure because it hasn't appeared anywhere yet, Alan. That is correct. That is correct, Alan. Yeah, the song is Louie Louie. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it had to be before 1967 because, like, you know, Robert Kennedy didn't make it past that, did he?
No.
I think it was 67 he got.
69, I think it was, wasn't it?
Well, I know it was the end of. It was certainly by the end of the 60s. So
yeah. There you go. That's your quiz for today.
No. I don't even know if I came close to getting one right. How'd you go, Peanuts?
Yeah, the Peanuts got most of them eventually. Carl Edwards, I feel stupid again.
Join the club, Carl.
can we? I was going to say, can we just see the title card again? But you know, that might be being very naughty to say that.
You have a request to see the title card again. Hang on.
Oh, you want to start the quiz all over again?
Well, just the title card was done, but no, don't.
Is that
stress
what
yourself,
is that what you want to say again?
I can't actually see it. It's just there we go. Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to check what quiz it was. Oh, it was 51. Sorry.
Yeah, it's quiz number 51. Yeah.
Somebody commented on the nice knitting there earlier.
The knitting, yeah, it is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I just wish that the video in this would actually run smoothly instead of just sort of jumping randomly from frame to frame.
There you go.
M2M wants to start it again. Because I checked all the videos of what I've missed out on for the past week. There's been a few. Yeah, just screen capture that, guys, so you can remember what quiz number it was for next time.
Well, yeah, I mean, we apparently didn't have any Lindsay today, did we?
No, Lindsay hadn't dropped anything in the last week. Not anything that it's to do with his whiteboard, anyway.
So no Lindsay boobies, so we had to go somewhere.
Lucky Phil wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Paul's keyboard's getting loud as well.
Is it?
Yeah. Are you using the microphone on your headset, or are you using a desk-mounted mic?
No, I'm using a desk-mounted mic.
Oh, that would be it. It's probably picking the boom up, just like mine, because my kit. Although I had some isolation, my microphone was essentially attached to the desk, so that was probably what was making the typing quite so loud. I've moved it now so there's no contact between the keyboard and the microphone, which is why it's probably a little quieter. Lindsay is under observation for 36 hours. Oh. Do I have to? Oh, I can do that. I forgot I had that turned on.
Is Terry gone AWOL?
I don't know.
No, I'm here. No, Matt's memory was gone. I just had to thought I'd just help him out. It's quiz 51, Matt. Now write it down, or just take a screen capture if you're not sure. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm not doing it again.
I did put
Can't work out the hashtag. What
yes.
hashtag?
I did put the right glasses back on. I sat for 4 hours on a live stream the other night with my distance glasses on instead of my reading the computer screen glasses. I'm wondering why I couldn't read the computer screen. But at least it's only a bit blurry today.
Okay. Where were we? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Oh, 10 videos. Geez, we're going to have to work that out. I'm going blind. Still didn't see the number. Oh, Matt. Okay, I got Everett Anderson, Flat Earther Explains Up and Down. I've got
It's impossible.
Blue Marbles Science with Now an Open Pipe Isn't a Container. Wait. I've got Level Earth Observer has an ego-driven rant pretending he's an actual crane driver. I've got one Simon Dan.
No.
I haven't got a conspiracy. Is Conspiracy Cat's done any videos? I couldn't see any ones lately. If he's still out in the chat. Globe Skeptic is absolutely clueless. That's going back to September 3rd. How far back have I got to go? September 3rd.
Well, that would be 5 days, so that's going to be since the last.
Yeah, that's still
So,
within.
yeah.
Yeah, that's still within that area. Okay. That's what I thought. I checked the dates on them. Even Sly done a recent one. Flat Earth and the Venus claim.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
Flat Earth
they claim
Space
because
Travel Impossible, Everett. Another Simon Dan and the Forbidden Lands of Nowhere. Flat Earther Accosts Christians, Everett Anderson. And the Cavendish Torsion Balance Detects an Earthquake. That was September 5th. Maybe I should have put these in chronological order. Playing at 2 AM. Yeah, I've seen that one. Not for another 3 hours or something.
What I would really like to know is, why can YouTube get my time zone correct and so put up the correct time, but gets the bloody date wrong? Because it keeps telling me that this premiere is going to be on the 9th of August.
Well, it's the 8th today.
Of September. So it's a long wait.
Well, it's the right month.
Well, no, it uses American format date, doesn't it? So it's saying 9th
I know,
of August, not
they're
the
back. I don't know why
9th
they've
of-
got to do it backwards. There's somebody's footprints in the snow.
Yeah, not mine. But it was a shared house. It was a bed sit in a shared house, so you know.
Alright. Everett, Blue. Got a Wade's Underworld one here, but he goes for 22 seconds. I'll play that for now. For Wade. Don't see Wade very often. I don't know if he's got any sound. Looks like he's done a time lapse elevation change of a ship right off the coast. Must live up near the central coast, past Sydney, Newcastle.
Yeah. And that boat definitely hadn't got any further away, had it?
No. Okay. Cross that one out.
Yeah. I would like to see a Flurf explain that.
That flat earth explains up and down. That's effort. What does that remind me of, Matt? I thought it was him at first. I've got no idea if that's...
Hey, what's happening today? I'm still a little confused. Down that way, up is that way. Down is not that way or that way or that way or that way. No. Ding, ding, ding. Doesn't work that way, folks. Please. We're going to be talking about how things work. So, if I was going to go to a 3rd, 5th, or 6th, or 10th, 12th, 18th, 20th floor of a building, what direction would I be going if I was going to go climb the stairs or take an elevator? Of course, I would be going up. Then when I leave that building, I would go down the elevator.
I'd like to know where that Flurf is, because he seems to be in
When
a
you
right-hand
go
drive car.
skiing in the winter, in the mountains, what direction are you going when you are skiing in the mountains? When you start at the top and then you end up at the bottom.
You want me to tell you?
South is not down. North or north is not up. Let's communicate here. Let's figure out what directions we're going.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
The southern hemisphere is not down. It's not on the fucking floor, okay? It's south. It's not down.
No way.
Come on. Huh? Remember your directions.
Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down. You got it. Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down.
Was it me, or does that bloke look like he was a little bit drunk?
I don't know. I don't know where the hell he was, because I'm sure he was sat there in a right-hand drive vehicle.
No, I think the video was flipped.
Ah.
Because the writing
would
on the back,
explain it.
the writing on the back window of the car was round the right way.
Yeah. Okay. That would explain it.
Yeah. Uh-oh, are we making fun of the mentally challenged? No, John, we don't do that. Oh, now we know which way's up and which way's down.
Yeah.
Might as well just play these in order, if they're only just a few minutes long each.
Yeah. Better get this one. Better make sure we get this one done. Somebody might actually talk some sense for once. Come on, press play, for God's sake, man.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blue Marble Science. Listen to this.
So therefore, when you're calculating volume, it's not like, oh, well, we'll calculate this pipe and ignore it's got a hole in it. No, the accessible volume is everything outside of the pipe because it's not contained.
So now this open pipe
What?
isn't a container for gas after all. Wow, Nathan. That's exactly what we've been trying to tell you. Warning, severe facial and monitor damage alert is in
What?
effect. Get out those oven mitts, push the monitors back out of punching range, and let's light a dumpster fire and have some fun.
So, comment by the Akumu virus. Most gas law presupposes a container. Pressure is caused by the constraints of the container. The atmosphere uses weight to cause pressure, not a container, Sleepy.
Uses weight? What, uses down vectors at 9.8 meters per second as per your gravity, Akum virus? No, gas does not go down, go boom boom.
He fought down, go
BOOM! Weight is down. No, it does if you put it in a container.
Okay, wait, I'm trying to follow along. Now you're saying that gas has no weight unless it's in a container. And for 2 years now, you've been telling everybody that this is a container. Well, if this is a container, so is this. Are you telling us now that the gas inside the empty swimming pool has weight, but the gas above the swimming pool has no weight? How does that work, Nathan?
But ultimately speaking, gas expands in all directions. It does not go down, go boom boom.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
Yeah, but right before that, he says pressure is caused by the constraints of the container.
Yeah.
What container?
Well, no, he's claiming it's a presupposition. He's saying all the citations just presuppose you're going to have a containment. I mean, obviously, the V in PV equals nRT is just a presupposition. No, it's not. It's an antecedent.
That's right, Nathan. It is a necessary antecedent. If you want pressurized gas at a pressure much higher than atmospheric pressure, you need some sealed cylinders like this and pumps and things. If you want to pressurize an atmosphere, all you need is one of those, and gravity will take care of the rest for you.
To have the pressure. Without the container, there can be no pressure. End quote, conspiracy cats. You've got to have something to contain the gas. Otherwise it's not contained. It'll just escape. Now, that escape... Hold on. That escape is the description in entropy. Yeah, it filling the availability of volume. In other words, if you've got a container with a hole in it, then the availability of volume is the container that it's within and also whatever's outside of it, because there's a hole. So the gas can follow its way through the hole into the rest of the volume it has available to it. So therefore, when you're calculating volume, it's not like, oh, well, we'll calculate this pipe and ignore it's got a hole in it. No, the accessible volume is everything outside of the pipe because it's not contained.
And that's right, Nathan. The gas in the open pipe is not contained. It's free to escape. The pressure inside the pipe is free to become exactly the same as the pressure outside the pipe because all of the volume is connected. But the butane gas in this open pipe is indicating a gas pressure significantly higher than the atmospheric pressure around it. Even though the gas is not being contained, as you just explained, gravity is holding the gas in this open pipe. Gravity is causing the gas to
Fall down, go.
boom! Good, I'm glad we cleared that up. Now that Nathan understands that an open pipe is not a container for gas, certainly not a container for pressurized gas, maybe we can take the next step and work on the boom boom part. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And Nathan, when I say how stupid can you be, that isn't a challenge. That's a question. Hey, hit the like and subscribe button for me. Shout out to the patrons and PayPals. Really appreciate it, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.
Why is Wolfie asking Cass, did he say something? Oh, did I miss that? They just don't get it, do they, with the open container contained? Yeah, Nathan confused himself, alright. You've been missing the space comment message reads. Yeah, you haven't done a video for Wildcats. I've noticed. Level Earth Observer has an ego-driven rant pretending he's an actual crane driver.
Oh.
Somebody put a link to something there earlier. What was now?
Oh, Dora put a link to the original GIF of the for the quiz?
Oh, okay. Okay, Dora.
For me, the quote for me and all the other perverts in the chat.
Oh dear.
Well, it'll definitely have to go over to Discord then, Alan.
Hey, I missed that. Did you see what Dora threatened to do? What Dora said you would threaten to do if they didn't behave and hit play. Play the MC2 Witsit video on loop.
Oh dear.
That will be. Look, I think I managed 4 minutes of it on double speed.
Like MC2 in Debay.
No, there's an MC2 put a video out of Witsit being getting. It says Witsit gets it wrong 1,000 times or something like that. It's supposedly Witsit saying his stupid stuff over. Well, it is Witsit saying his stupid stuff over and over again on loop.
Oh.
Allegedly 1,000 times, but I don't know. I couldn't get very far into it, even with it on 2 times speed, to sort of reduce the pain amount. Anyway, are you going to press play or what, Terry?
Now I can.
As an operator of tower cranes for over 20 years.
G'day everybody, Where's Wally here? Well, looks like Adam, he's gone on a big justification spree, trying to make us believe that he actually drives a crane. Well, I'm not so sure. Let's have a look.
I've only got to look out my window and the globe goes bye-bye.
Well, that looks fake.
And a few people from NASA, James Skipper being one of them. He came and had a go, former test engineer for the Gemini program.
Colours are all wrong.
Simon Dan ran away. Conspiracy cats came in. When he was held accountable, i.e. to provide demonstrable science, he then lied and misrepresented me. Got himself an instant block. Like I say, I've only got to look out the window and the globe goes bye-bye.
You know, cranes move. This one isn't. It must be a pantomime.
Any demonstration they'll come up with will prove the spinning globe Earth theory is ridiculous. Sorry, guys.
That is clearly an overlaid scene.
I only stand by...
That was almost convincing, that sound clip, Adam. Almost. Nice editing, though. You really nearly convinced us. 10 out of 10 for realism.
And as a result of that, no one on Earth can refute me.
Now, if I was up that high, I'd get out my P900 and I'd be zooming in.
And those things I stand by prove the globe is impossible.
Adam has a P900. He's not zooming in. This has to be fake.
And because of that, I have hundreds of trolls visit the channel, some minutes old. They set up accounts specifically to come and troll me.
I'm just not buying it.
All trying to make us, the people who stand by demonstrable truth, look silly. Sorry, every crane on Earth proves the globe is scientifically impossible.
What a load of old tosh.
If the Earth was a spinning ball, my career as a tower crane operator wouldn't exist, clearly.
That doesn't even look like a crane. That is nothing like any crane I've ever seen.
The force of gravity, whether it be the bending and warping of pantomime time or mass attracting mass, are both bunkum, both nonsense. Just silly stories attached to a natural phenomenon. That clearly don't cut it when they come under the scrutiny that is the scientific method. So sorry, like I previously said, I've only got to look out my window and the globe goes bye-bye. Oops!
What a load of old tosh. Well, forget CERN and their super collider. Brisbane is going to be the world's science centre of excellence bar none. I heard we were building a new science centre, and this is what I think it must be. When I saw the cranes, it has to be this site here, absolutely. Almost complete and ready for experimentations to take place. Sorry, Adam.
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
Oh.
So just because you drive a crane, you think you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but what was he doing in a crane in a pair of bloody canvas slip-ons? So I'm pretty sure you have to wear IPE wherever you go on a building site.
No, you think you'd be wearing some sort of more safer boots.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're those safety trainer types that you can get with the toe cap, if you're not sploshing around in the mud.
Wow. Okay. Globe Skeptic is absolutely clueless. Yeah. I might have to skip. I don't know if he's got his promotion, what do they call it?
Howard George Stirrup is a globe skeptic who lives in Benidorm. You may remember him from the 3 DIY Flat Earth experiments video from a couple of years ago.
My favourite of all is to get 2 glasses of water and place one under the moonlight and one in shade of the moonlight. Leave them for about 30 minutes, and with a thermostat for food, you can go and check for yourselves. I'm not going to make a 30-minute video.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You mean to tell me you've conducted this experiment inside? Inside. He's deleted that original video now. I wonder why. Well, great news. He's started a new series called Global Skepticism, and we're going to review it. Get ready. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, a quick shout out to the podcast channel. Last week, Katz and I interviewed Robin Ince from the Infinite Monkey Cage podcast, and it was brilliant. I'll leave the link in the description to that. Please do go and subscribe. There are lots of clips on there. So, yes, Howard George Stirrup is back, and he is back with a vengeance. He's trying to make a difference with his new series, Global Skepticism. And we start with his opinion on Venus and star trails. Away we go.
After the sunset, you can see Venus in the blue sky when the sun's setting behind it, and it's very clearly bright and it's flickering like the stars.
Okay, yes, the sun is sometimes setting behind Venus, but because of how bright Venus is and how far away it is, and the fact that our eyes can't resolve it, it still appears as a bright star to us. However, if we look at Venus through a telescope, then we actually see that it's usually in a phase and has phases similar to the moon. Excellent evidence for the heliocentric model, I might add.
I recommend everyone make that observation instead of laughing at me about it, because I don't see how a rock could reflect sun when the sun's behind it and how it could be so bright.
Whilst Venus is a rock, as Howard says, it's continually covered by a thick, dense atmosphere of carbon dioxide, nitrogen and sulfur dioxide. It is this atmosphere which reflects the sun's light.
And plus, neither the sun nor the moon are flickering like we see the stars flickering. So yeah, please do check out Venus just after the sunset.
That's MC Toon, by the way. Looks like this clip was lifted from his debate with Howard. The flickering is a funny one. I would suggest that this is down to the poor focus in the clip that Howard is using here from his camera. Planets don't usually flicker unless maybe when they are right near close to the horizon and their light is having to travel through more atmosphere.
If you're in the UK or in Spain like I am, it's a very easy observation just after sunset, 20 minutes. I'm not sure about the States. I'm not sure about the States.
Mr. MacNeil has identified that you changed the subject very quickly.
Look at Howard's overlay here. It's literally debunking him as he talks. There is a phase on Venus, something which actually happens. Dear, oh dear, Howard.
I'm not changing. I just want to get these things in. I want to make most of my time here.
Okay.
And also star trails. Please check out how the Big Dipper goes round different seasons. It's in different places.
Is it? It's in different places at different times in the night, but that, of course, is because we're rotating.
Why is it that stars travel the same exact path? Like I say, the Big Dipper, it will go to the exact same path, no matter what time of year.
Because our North Pole lines up with Polaris, and as we rotate, all the stars around Polaris appear to rotate as well. It's not hard. Just at a different hour. You'd see the same stars like Orion, and you still see Orion passing in the same part of the sky, no matter what time of year. Well, actually, we don't see the Orion constellation between about April and November here in the UK, and that is entirely because of the tilt of the Earth. As the Orion constellation is normally actually there, however, during the summer, it's too bright to see it. So no matter what star you look at, no matter how far out you go south, you will see that they still cross the exact same path in the sky, no matter what time of year, no matter what year. Yes, because we're rotating around a set point. Why would it change? They're just crossing the same path at a different time, yet supposedly we're on a completely another side of the sun.
Yes.
You would expect there to be some kind of parallax. So my point is, he still crosses the same path in the sky, no matter what time of year he is. Yes, you'll see him early in the morning or late at night or in the middle of the night, depending what time of year it is, but he still crosses the same path in the sky. This is an awful argument because, of course, most stars that we see here in the Northern Hemisphere are actually above us. That means our point in orbit around the sun is actually irrelevant.
I don't know how that doesn't match the globe. That perfectly matches.
Indeed, MC Toon.
Well, look into it, bro. Look into it, because you've got your little globe model there. It's all out of scale, like you said. Well, keep playing with your globe, and maybe it'll make sense that it doesn't make sense. Except it makes perfect sense. Every time.
God, I wish that man could get the damn thing
I
in
hate it when
focus.
creators just put a fancy clip at the end of their video. So this claim, an out of focus star. Howard is famous for it.
I'm Howard George Stewart. Here we've got a very simple experiment that you can make for yourself that proves that the stars are not what we've been taught.
Hang on. Right. Howard's got a few continuity issues there, but we'll let him off. After all this time and he still can't focus a camera. As you can see, out of focus. perfect evidence that we rotate. And we get this clip again. A lot of people wanted me to point out last time that this isn't flat Earth made, this clip. It's a generalisation of how the solar system moves through space, just not a great one. Anyway, I'm bored of this one. Let's move on to Howard's next global skepticism video, which is about satellites in space. Here we go.
Supposedly we're getting a real photo of the whole of Earth every 10 minutes. Google image United Kingdom, none of them match. They look similar, but they're all different colours. Some of them are slightly different shapes, which means that most of them, if not all of them, are fake.
Different satellites use different cameras, and even the same satellite may not take the same picture of something twice. The photo could have been taken with many different settings, and of course it could have been a different time of year.
It shouldn't be that difficult to backdate and have a look at the country 10 years before, 20 years before, to compare. We all see the nighttime effect that they claim all the streetlights are doing from outer space. You can see all this orange light in the capitals and the cities. So surely we would see a massive difference over the last 50 years in some countries where the cities have built up. We should see an easy comparison of nighttime pictures.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Howard. Take a look at this. This is Shanghai in China from 2013 to 2018. Just a 5-year difference and quite a change.
Can you see the straight line on the right of the UK where the blue sea becomes dirty sea?
Dirty sea, lol. This is him debating MC Toon again.
Yeah, that's, yeah. So, all right.
So, let's zoom out. Ooh.
Okay.
Something doesn't look right there, does it, Michael?
Yeah, there's a big giant no clouds on the map.
What are we looking at there, Michael? You've zoomed out and it's lovely.
Get to your point here.
Clearly Howard doesn't understand how Google Earth works. It shows you a lot of satellite images all stitched together, showing you as much as it possibly can of the globe. And Google Earth virtually removes any clouds so you can actually see what you're looking at.
No, I'm asking, what are we looking at?
I don't know.
We know high altitude drones and aircrafts can take many photos for Google Maps.
But that fact doesn't disprove the existence of satellites, does it?
So it's very likely that you could be showing me an image that's been stitched together from many high altitude photos.
Yeah. So, what's the issue with that?
Or could it be computer generated imagery completely?
No.
This is a photograph taken on film, 4-inch wide film.
Could it be a real photograph of a computer generated image?
What? Really?
In 1972?
Exactly, MC Toon. No one is producing a CGI globe in 1972 when this was the Scorpion King in 2002.
No.
I don't know. They say no, please stop claiming to know things. You believe, Michael. You believe. You don't know. You weren't there, Michael. So you believe. Admit it.
You have to be there for everything.
How about you Google the difference between primary information and secondary information right now?
Okay, but that's not science.
So secondary information is as strong as primary information. Is that what you're trying to tell me in science?
No,
I'm
trying to not answer that at all because I have things that I need to do.
Look at his little face, thinking he's got one over on MC Toon. Dear, oh dear, Howard. Your global skepticism isn't really cutting it, is it? And I've heard you say many, many times that you are not a flat earther. Well, if that's the case, then why were you wearing this t-shirt in the 3 DIY experiments video 2 years ago?
Hi, I'm Howard George Stirrup. I'd like to show you how easy you can make an experiment to prove that the moonlight is not a reflection of the sun.
We'll leave Howard the Flat Earther there for now, but rest assured we'll be keeping an eye on his new series for possible future episodes. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for joining today and watching. It really is appreciated. It truly is. If you enjoyed it, then please do subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video as well if you're feeling generous, please. I have been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday for the return of the mud floods. See you then. Howard
Jerry, I'd love to know how I can take a crappy photograph of Venus, get it correctly exposed, get it roughly in focus, yet all the fluffs can do is have a pulsating blob. I mean, it's not difficult.
If I forgot when that was in the film. I was going to I forgot where it was now. It amazes me how they don't know what they're doing there. Can't find it. You'll have to do a comparison one time, Alan, when you got nothing to do. Show something out of focus and in focus of the same thing. Side by side sort of thing.
Yeah, well, you know. Because I suppose it would be better if I was doing video, but the lens focal length isn't enough really for it to work on video properly. You wouldn't see the phase as you see it in the photo that I've got showing at the moment. That
on your thumbnail, yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere. That's.
Oh, pardon
me.
I've been experimenting. I've just learned how to convert GIFs so you can use them into Zoom.
Is that what you've been doing?
Yeah.
now you got a girl in your room. You had ducks before, now you got a girl.
Yeah. Which would you prefer?
Well,
hang on. Let me get out of the way.
Is that a trick question? That's a trick question.
Hang on. I think I'm facing the wrong way.
Oh God, that's brilliant. Your head disappeared nicely there, Paul.
Dear.
Yeah, that's right, Clive. Flat Earther and the Venus claim. Flat Earth space travel impossible. Another Simon Dan, the Forbidden Lands of Nowhere. I'll have to leave that one. It's a bit long. Flat Earther accosts Christians. And what's this one? I'll leave blues to last. So the long one I'll leave. I'll play Simons next time. And I'll leave that one. Flat Earth space travel impossible. Okay. What's that? Microraptor? Big Blue has a smaller blue than Terry does in their profile pics. Huh? A smaller blue. Okay.
Oh.
Hop over to there. Go over here.
When the car going at 100 miles per hour, you see how quick they'll be moving.
Paul,
So
you know you
yeah.
had me shut that
That's the
door.
vision in your head. The car go-
It's got so hot I nearly fell asleep.
Ah.
Because it's a nice warm day and I'm trapped in a room with a bloody heater going because of the computer. Oh God, no wonder I was feeling so blah.
This one's really quiet. I can't turn it up.
going at 100 miles per hour. We see the speed of that. So
Everett, what
if
have you
the
done?
Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, approximately. That's when
Blue said he fixed it.
on their website. Everything's supposed to be being thrown off the Earth.
I can't.
If you're on Earth, a circular ball.
I've got it up loud as it can go.
You could turn it up a bit in.
Gravity, you fucking retard! Gravity! Have you ever heard of fucking gravity?
Yeah,
Gravity!
those bits are loud.
Gravity!
But I can't hear the other bits.
But gravity is a theory. It's not a fact. It's a theory. A theory means, what does a theory mean? It's just someone's opinion.
I can't turn that up and not.
No.
You
You cannot do this to me. No.
You're not going to space.
Sorry about that, Everett.
No
We can't play that.
Atmosphere.
Unless we got the original video of the person. Oh, here we go. Ra's video. You want to go straight to his video?
I think it might be rather long.
Oh, would it? No, 6 minutes.
Oh, that's okay then.
Alright, we'll try that.
Peace. Peace.
God, learn to tip the camera the right damn way, you fool.
NASA, they say that the Earth is rotating at 1,000 miles per hour. So I'm gonna say, let's use the example of a car going at, 100 miles per hour. on a car going at 100 miles per hour, you see how quick that be moving. You know, so just envision in your head a car going at 100 miles per hour. We see the speed of that. So if the earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, approximately, that's what NASA saying on their website. If I could remember clearly, that's what they're saying. Think about it, 1,000 miles per hour. The earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Everything's supposed to be being thrown off the earth. Think about how speed that is. So, just a quick video for the family to think, you know. If you're on earth, a circular ball, how is it the water staying on the ball? The globe. You know, just something to think about. I know they say gravity, but gravity is a theory. It's not a fact, it's a theory. A theory means, what does a theory mean? It's just someone's opinion.
No.
A fact is something that's been tried and proven. A theory is just someone just opinion, basically their opinion. It wasn't proven. It's not proven to be a fact. So, yeah, just a quick video. You know, hopefully people do care and, you know, really look into it and see that it really makes sense so that we could really progress as a people. You know, even if we don't want to do it, at least we could really think about it for our youths, you know. And people might say, wait, why is, if the earth flat or if it's a globe, why is it important? It is very important. Because NASA be receiving millions of dollars, if it's not daily, at least weekly, from taxpayers to sponsor their space program. That's not even real. It's an illusion. You're not going to space. No one could leave the Earth atmosphere. The magnetic field that's up top, the wind is so dense, it's so heavy that nothing could go up. Nothing could go up.
What?
Beyond a certain point in the sky. They know it. That's why they came out and said no, they can't go to space. Just the other day they said they can't go to space because I can't remember exactly why something is blocking them out. So, which one is it really? Could they go to space or could they not? Because how could you have go to space in the early 1900s, but now you're more advanced with more technology?
What? Early 1900s?
I don't think so.
No.
Jesus.
The Earth is really, it's not really flat as a penny, but it's a circle beneath our foot. You know, a circle of ground.
Hashtag Hill Earth.
It's circle, and then you might say, so what's keeping the water from falling off the circle?
Yeah,
the circle that's beneath our foot is said to be an ice ring that surrounds the circle. It's beneath our foot. There's an ice wall. They call it Antarctica, and they try to make us think that it's just a continent, but it's said to be that there's an ice wall that goes around the whole circle. That's what's helped keeping the water from, you know, falling off of the flat, not flat as a penny, but somewhat almost as a bowl. It's somewhat as a bowl. Think about a bowl or a cover. Think about a cover. A cover with the circle ring at the bottom. I mean, with a circle ring around it, a cover with a circle ring around it, being beneath your foot, and then you just draw out the continents on it and you drop, put the waters around it, the rivers, the seas, the oceans, and then you just have the ice wall to keep in.
So it's still basically a flat Earth, but over a bowl.
So
Bowl shape.
It's more than something to think about, but at least I help make you think. Alright, peace.
I don't think his video's making us think. If they stopped watching these YouTube videos about flat Earth, they wouldn't be parroting nearly word for word half the things they say, or most of the things they say. Who's asking Gary to do homework?
I think Peter had been asking Gary to do homework for a while.
Oh, okay. Simon Dad said you couldn't see it in the sky in the UK from April to November. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. Speaking of Howard, I would like to see you have a debate with him on agree to disagree. Debating who? I missed that. I missed that bit. I'd like Cats to come on here and do a bit of a debate with somebody if we can get somebody on for him. A one-on-one.
Oh God, yeah, it's 3:05. This is indeed time to go do the school run. Glad I don't have school-age kids anymore.
Yeah. Now, been there, done that, Cats. We'll catch you next time. Don't be a stranger. Okay. I'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, flat earther accost Christians. Now, what would a flat earther accost a Christian for?
Cause.
Lucky I put a disclaimer in my videos, Paul, that these streams aren't for kids.
Okay.
Surf, it's Davies with an E. That's how it's said. We should have a flirt debate to wall or not to wall. Yes, that is a question. Here we got now. Got that one. Last one before blues. I better turn the sound down on the video. It might have got a bit loud. Sorry for that. I was trying to work out in the chat where you can, I'm sure it can censor certain words, Alan, when people can't type in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at that in
I think you can.
when I was setting the stream up once before
Yeah,
to
I think
do
you
it.
could. I think you could put words in there. I mean, it wouldn't it be funny if you put 4 in there?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to have the word for certain words with 4. Next time I set it up, I'll have another look again and see if I can.
Trouble
get it
is,
to work.
I think having everybody blue means that
They can
all type 4 anyway.
Oh, okay, that might be what it is. Unless I take everyone's spanner off them to test it. They won't mind. I'll get their spanner back straight away. Just not sure about his music. No, the spanner's door.
Flat.
Oh, really?
You know how you can tell? Water.
Okay.
Water's level.
Okay.
It's one of the most accurate leveling devices on Earth. And they're covered in it.
No.
That's not how you use water level.
Hold on. There's another way you can tell.
Oh, right.
The horizon. The horizon always stays at your eye level, no matter how high you go up. The horizon always remains at your eye level. Now on a ball any size, the horizon would drop away. 360 degrees around you, it would drop away. So as you rose, you would have to look down to see the horizon.
Does this have a relationship?
Well, it's not eye level then, is it?
Yeah, it has everything to do with that book. So, you live in air pressure. So, 14 pounds per square inch on your body when you're on Earth.
At sea level.
So, what do you need to create air pressure? A container.
No, I need to know something. Why are you telling us this?
Yeah, why are you telling us this? Yeah, exactly.
Because it's written in that book. It says it in that book, yeah. I promise you haven't seen the curvature of the Earth.
Okay.
Look up Job 38:18.
Did you what?
Job 38:18.
Where? Job.
Just read the book of Job, chapter 38.
I've read it.
The whole thing.
I've read the whole
God
thing.
describes the earth. He says he's bounded the oceans.
What are you trying to make?
I'm trying to tell you that if you believe you live on a spinning ball, are you Catholic?
What does it matter?
Because guess who came up with the spinning ball in space? The Roman Catholic, the Jesuit order of the Roman Catholic Church. Copernicus was a Jesuit Catholic priest.
What are you trying to say to us?
The reason they made up the ball spinning in space was to just discredit that book.
Oh, okay. So are
To come up with evolution, the Big Bang, all that crap.
So are you saying you believe in the Bible?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, you don't need to tell us all that. We believe in it. You don't need to give us.
I'm trying to help my brother out and tell him that believing in a ball spinning in space is absolutely crazy. It doesn't match natural science. So you guys
I don't know why you're
Protestants?
trying to convince us here.
Are
in
you
this
guys
flat.
Protestants?
What difference does it make?
Well, you're Bible
We're Jesus
believers,
followers.
right?
Yeah, we're Jesus followers. And you're a flat Earth believer, so who cares?
Why are you so afraid of the flat Earth?
I'm not. I'm not afraid
You're
of
afraid
it. I
of
just don't
losing
understand
everything?
why you're making
Everybody
a point
think you're nuts? Afraid of losing money?
No.
Afraid of being ostracized by the public?
Apparently not. We wouldn't be sitting here studying the Bible in public.
Right, but you're not. You're still thinking you live on a ball spinning in space. That's the problem.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't think it makes any difference to my religion or my beliefs. I don't
care one bit.
You're following a Catholic religion. That's a religion, you know. The globe is an idol.
I'm following scripture. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just research NASA, research the flat Earth, study natural science.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Will that enhance our...
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
You know, the whole world's deceived, right? The whole world believes they think they live on a spinning ball, endless space. That God is some monad. You know, the Bible teaches God sits above the center of the earth. You know Werner von Braun? The guy who made the rockets? You know what's on his gravestone? Psalm 19:1. Read it.
Sorry.
So God is mighty, and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
You want us to go over there?
No, I'll let you guys in peace.
Funniest thing I've seen in ages.
I've seen better flat smacking from Nathan Thompson when he goes out. The globe is an idol. Yeah, right, Wolf. I will finish up on Blue's video. Yeah, how dare the bloody accuse Christians not to be Christians just because they're not his type of Christians. The Cavendish torsion balance detecting an earthquake. I thought Blue already did a video about this before.
Everybody, welcome to Blue Marble Science. On August the 14th, we were running the very last test on Cavendish, and about 30 minutes into that test, a magnitude 7.2 earthquake occurred near Lekaya in Haiti. Cavendish actually responded to that seismic event. This is pretty interesting stuff, so let's have a look at what we saw. This is part of the live stream video that I've sped up by a factor of about 15, and it starts about 1 minute after the earthquake occurred in Haiti. That happened at 8:29. What you see right now is just the normal, slow, steady movement of the torsion balance as it rotates and oscillates around two extreme points. But watch at about 8:38 on that clock, and you'll notice that the laser begins to bounce up and down vertically. Now that is not a motion that we normally see unless we bump the balance. If we bump that cabinet, we see that. This time nothing like that happened. Let's slow it down and see what it looks like in real time. Now for those of you interested in doing a little science, pause the video, open up a stopwatch, and time this vertical bounce. Count about 10 of these bounces, and I think you'll find that the period is about 1.7 seconds. Now that'll become important in a little while because this tells us what the balance is doing. The torsion balance is actually acting like not only a torsion balance, but like a normal gravity pendulum. These vertical movements of the laser continue, but they subside over a period of time. And now an hour or so later, you'll see that they have virtually disappeared. And by the time we get to the second half of the test, they're completely gone. Let's see if we can definitively tie what we saw to that earthquake in Haiti. Since I didn't do anything to disturb the balance, can we tie this to some sort of seismic activity? And the first thing that came to mind is, could it have been some local seismic event? Well, here's earthquake data for the area in which I live for the period of August the 13th through the 15th. There was one magnitude 2 earthquake that occurred on the 15th, so that one doesn't count. That's the day after. Obviously, nothing happened locally that we would have seen. Let's look on a more global basis. Now, we can ignore anything an hour or an hour and a half prior to the event that we witnessed. So we want to look at the time period from 1100 to 1300 UTC. When we look in the time frame from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock UTC, we find that there is one magnitude 6 earthquake that occurred and then some magnitude 4 earthquakes. When we look in the time period from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, we see the magnitude 7 in Haiti and some magnitude 5 and magnitude 4 activity. So let's check out the timing. Here are the 10 largest earthquakes in the world for August the 14th. Number 1, of course, is the 7.2 that we see in Haiti, and it occurred at 8:29 a.m. That's 12:29 UTC. Then a 6.9 quake in the Gulf of Alaska, which occurred at 3:57 a.m., but that is 11:57 a.m., about 40 minutes before we saw that activity. So the timing and strength of that earthquake may not be a very good match. Let's take a look at that on the map. So there we see the 6.9 earthquake that happened in Alaska at 11:57 UTC. And we see the magnitude 7.2 that occurred in Haiti at 12:29 UTC. Now keep something in mind. That doesn't seem like a lot of difference, but the energy released by that 7.2 earthquake is roughly 3 times as much energy as the 6.9 earthquake in Alaska. Let's have a look at this on Google Earth. So we see the magnitude 6.9 in Alaska, and it is 5,800 kilometers away from my location. We see the magnitude 7.2 on the other hand in Haiti, and it is 2,200 kilometers away. It appears that the most likely thing we would have seen would have been that earthquake in Haiti. Now, because I'm not a flat earther, I don't think I can read a wiki article and become an instant seismic expert. I chose a more pragmatic route, and I went to the U.S. Geological Survey, and I asked them about it. This was the response I got. Indeed, what you saw were likely the surface waves from the Haiti earthquake. The P waves and S waves were probably too high frequency to have been observed, but the surface waves are lower frequency. The oscillations of the whole Earth could also have been recorded, and they are very low frequency. Very cool. Well, you know what? I think so too. Very cool. But that still leaves us with a question. And the question is, why does the balance do what it does? Well, let's have a look. You may have seen this before. This is the torsion balance. We have this T-shaped wooden beam and 2 small weights hanging on either end of the beam. Now, when we move the large weights in close proximity to those small ones, the masses attract each other, and because the torsion balance is hanging from the torsion wire, that causes the entire beam to rotate, and that applies a torque to the torsion wire. Now what happens is the beam actually rotates and overshoots its resting position. It'll reverse its direction and then rotate the opposite direction, again overshooting. But each time the overshoot will become less and less, and eventually the beam will stop oscillating. This is exactly like a gravity pendulum. It's like a plumb bob. Everybody's seen this before. If you leave it alone long enough, it will finally stop moving, and the torsion beam will do the same thing. But now, if we take a laser, like this one, and we shine that laser on a mirror that is mounted on the torsion beam itself, when the beam rotates, that changes the angle of incidence of the laser to the mirror, and it causes the laser spot to move horizontally. Let's take a look at the time-lapse video that was shot on August the 14th. And as we watch this, we can clearly see the upset condition occur where the laser spot begins bouncing up and down. But you'll notice that over a period of time, that up and down motion ceases, and by the time we move the large weights into the opposite position, the laser is back stable again. It's simply moving left and right. Well, what's causing that? Let's take a look at this beam. Let's look at a cross-section through the beam, and it would look something like this. We would see the wooden beam at the bottom, we would see the mirror mounted on the beam, and then we would see the torsion wire that it's hanging from. Now notice that this looks a lot like a pendulum. So if we vibrate the wooden case and we cause the beam to start oscillating forward and backward, what's going to happen? Well, as the beam swings forward, again, just like the horizontal motion, we change the angle of incidence with the laser, and the laser spot will move up a little bit. And when it swings back, the laser spot will move down a little bit. Now this is the motion that we're seeing. It's the motion of a simple pendulum. Can we prove that? Yeah, I think we can. Remember our 1.7 second measurement? Well, we can calculate the period of oscillation of a gravity pendulum simply by the formula 2 pi times the square root of L over G, where L is the length of the pendulum and G is the acceleration of gravity. Now for Cavendish, that torsion wire is the length of the pendulum, and it's about 0.7 meters. So if we do the math, we end up with, guess what? 1.7 seconds. So this is exactly what we're seeing. We're simply seeing the wooden beam swinging front to back in the enclosure. Does that have any effect on the rotation? Maybe a little. Let's see how much effect it had. This is a plot of the oscillation from that time-lapse video. Now normally when I move the weights into position, I ignore the first peak or the first extreme. So the first measurement that I took was this one at 8:29, and that's about the time the earthquake occurred. The next peak is at 8:37, and that's still before the time we saw the torsion balance start reacting. The next peak was at 8:45, and by then the balance was absolutely reacting, but it doesn't seem to be having any effect on our measurements. So we take one more measurement at 8:53, and everything still looks fine on the graph. Now from that point on, you notice that the oscillation no longer seems to be behaving like a damped oscillation should. The next peak is actually higher. So the appropriate thing to do is just ignore this data from that point forward. It really doesn't matter because we only really need 3 points. We could just simply take the first 3. We don't even need the fourth one. And we get that data set that you see there. And then we do the same thing after we move the weights into the other position. We use those 4 points and we get that data set. Now we have two rest positions that we can use to calculate the value of big G. Let's see how that worked out. This is all the Series 3 tests. This is test number 31 through 46, a total of 16 tests. The very last one is the one of August the 14th, and the calculated value of G, based on that data we just looked at, is 6.74 times 10 to the minus 11th Newton meter squared per kilogram squared. And that's a little on the high side, but it's not the highest. We've got a 7.02, we've got a 6.82. On June the 6th, we've got one at 6.71, which is very nearly the same as the value we measured on August the 14th. So I can't see any reason to say there was anything wrong with this test. Even though we had an upset condition in the middle of it, the value for G that we get using the data is very much in line with all the other testing we've done. But I think the amazing part is this Cavendish device was able to detect the motion of the Earth that it's sitting on. And to quote the USGS one more time, that's really cool. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget the like and subscribe buttons down there. Shout out to the patrons and PayPals. Thanks for everything you guys do, and we'll see you on the next one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, how lucky was that, huh?
Yeah. And to have something confirmed and by the actual people that do know what they're talking about, not a wiki page to find some answers. No.
Well, it was very confusing to me. At the time it happened, I couldn't understand what the hell was going on. It just doesn't do that. I mean, that balance never does that. Well, I say it never does. It does it when I bump it or touch it.
Yeah.
Then you see that kind of motion, but I wasn't anywhere near it. I was just sitting there 6 feet away watching the thing on the live stream with everybody else, and all of a sudden it started doing that silly stuff.
That was early hours of the
hell?
morning here, wasn't it, when you did that? If I remember staying up to watching it.
Yeah, I started at about 8 o'clock.
I thought it was a truck driving down the road, or something weird. Why? Never thought of an earthquake.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, if it had been midday on Tuesday when the garbage truck comes by, I might have been scratching my head thinking, hell, what those guys do.
Yeah.
But it's 8:30 on a Saturday morning. There's nothing out there on the street except a 4x4 occasionally.
And it's they did make, I don't know if they still use it, but like using like some sort of pendulum device to record earthquakes or something in the old days or something. I was talking about that.
Well, that's how a seismograph works. It's a large mass sitting there that doesn't move just simply because of Newton's laws, inertia. doesn't let that pendulum move. But the case that it's sitting in does move.
Is there any way to calculate or explain or whatever the sensitivity part of the P&S waves to be picked up in compared to the amount of force that the balls for the gravity part of it, to compare the two? That's what I find interesting, how it picked up the vibration waves. It must have been. They say, like you said, the amount of gravity's on a piece of 1 millimeter square paper or something. Like for the amount of gravity, amount of vibration to be detected.
Oh, I have no idea how to quantify that. Maybe Paul would have some ideas. I don't know how to do it.
I don't know if Paul will.
No, not really. No, I'm listening, but no, not really. I mean, it depends on the sensitivity of your, how small a motion of the pendulum you can detect. You know, so if you amplify that motion enough, you're going to have a more sensitive detector. And basically, that's how seismographs work. They're able to amplify the motion to a point where you can actually see the needle move or see the display, produce something. But other than that, the vibrations can be pretty small. I mean, like you get a magnitude 1 earthquake, there's no way you're going to feel it. But if you get a sensitive enough device, you can actually measure those vibrations,
But they're down to the scale
you can be
of
sitting right on top of a magnitude 1. And you're not going to feel that. It's just too small.
Yeah, that's right.
Like in comparison to you saying with the gravity, it's about the size of a piece of 1 centimetre bit of paper or something. What you were saying before about something compared.
Yeah, but they're different. They're different mechanisms that are causing that motion, though, Terry. So, yeah.
Right, it's not a device that's designed to detect earthquakes for sure.
No.
And in fact, it was one of the things. Vibration was one of the things I was concerned about when I designed the damn thing. It clearly could be affected if you vibrate it. So that's why it sits on a table, and the table's got little felt pads under the adjustable legs on it. And that's all sitting on a nice concrete floor. And I've tried dropping things and jumping up and down at it just to be sure, that it isn't being affected by stuff like that. And you really can't do anything to it. But now if the whole damn earth decides to vibrate, that's going to shake the concrete. The concrete shakes the table shakes the Cavendish, and there you go.
Yeah.
Because it's a wave that picks it up as an oscillation in the laser.
Yeah, those surface waves are really, really low frequency. And it's a lot of side-to-side motion, I think, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this thing probably fortuitously is oriented the right direction too. It's facing east and west. And that earthquake was southeast of me. So it would have struck the thing in the right direction to make that top heavy Cavendish enclosure want to rock back and forth.
Yep. Yeah.
If it had been oriented north and south, I may not have seen it.
And if you weren't doing the experiment at the time, you wouldn't have noticed it.
It's almost impossible to see it if you're not doing the experiment at the time. That's right. And one of the issues that SC Montreal has a difficulty coming to grips with is the concept that earthquakes that happened after the time I saw that one actually couldn't affect it. I don't know why he thinks those things can travel backward in time.
How'd that one work?
Is he really that stupid?
He is really that
Yes, he is,
stupid.
absolutely.
Yeah. He says some of the dumbest shit you can ever imagine. Yeah.
He wanted to know if I'd analyzed every earthquake that happened on that day. Well, no, I didn't look at any of them that happened after. How would I keep?
Dear.
No, it's just done at the right time at the right circumstances.
Yeah.
Well, it's really almost almost poetic in a way. You know, I've run 46 of those damn things over all these months. There's hundreds of hours of live stream of this going on, and on the very last one that happens. So
sort of like the icing on the cake.
That's just real. Yeah. That's special.
I mean, what are the odds?
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody will figure it out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like winning the lottery. I felt like, though, you know, that's sort of the icing on the cake. Okay. We managed to make it through everything else, and then we get an earthquake.
It's a shame that they didn't write letters anymore. If that person that you spoke to about the seismic P&S waves, like in the old days, if they wrote a letter, you could have put it up on the wall and framed it. Response.
Oh, I've got a copy of it in my emails, but I'm not sharing any names or anything. It comes from the USGS. Also.
Yeah.
Because I know how these damn flirts are, and
exactly.
I don't want the USGS people inundated
by
with
them.
bullshit from Rocky.
I can just imagine. Yeah.
What's that, Elmix? It's just like Gary's comment on Wolfie's last bit about Earth eclipsing satellites. Funny how the stars weren't eclipsed. Okay.
Yeah, but when you look at that, they can't tell the difference. You know, they can't work out that turn the EQ mount motors on, and the telescope is basically going to track the stars. Turn the EQ mount motors off. The telescope is going to just move with the Earth.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, we'll finish it up here. We're running late today because of my technical issues with the internet people.
Hey, Terry, you're usually still playing videos at this time.
Well, we started late. We started late.
Yeah, but even so, you're usually still playing videos at this time because you're usually still playing videos when my carer gets here for tea.
Well, we've been going for 3.5 hours, so we're probably half an hour short of normal time. I think people just want to keep watching Paul's.
Yeah.
Make it full screen for him for a sec. Here we go.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm facing the wrong way.
There you go.
Yeah.
There.
I certainly can't speak for the rest of them. Yeah.
You're supposed to be when you turned around.
Okay.
So we couldn't hear you talk.
Yeah.
You'd be muffled.
I tell you what, you've been reminding me of for ages though. Kenny Everett and Cleo Rokas.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever used to watch Kenny Everett.
Yeah.
He wasn't on for that long over here, or he didn't make many episodes, maybe.
Yeah. But as far as vibration suppression goes, Blue, I've done some pretty extreme stuff in that regard. Like when you're making optical holographs, for instance, you've got to isolate the vibration to a minimum. To achieve that, we used to use an optic table, which is like a 5-ton piece of granite floating in mercury, and we'd put that we'd put that inside an acoustically isolated room. So it's basically a room within the university building. The whole room is isolated from the rest of the building on special springs. So the vibration in that room is minimal, and it's got acoustic dampening in it too. So we put this big table in that room, and the combination of them isolates just about everything. And then to even minimise it even further, we'd make the holograms late at night after the public transport is all stopped. So the trams going past outside wouldn't cause vibrations as well. So, yeah, that's taking vibration elimination to the extreme. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, there must be a pretty big earthquake going on behind you then, Paul.
Yeah. That sort of level of isolation clearly isn't required for a thing like this.
Yeah. But when you've got something where you're recording interference patterns, with wavelengths of light, then you have to isolate the vibration, because that can upset the recording of the hologram and make it fail.
Yeah. When I worked in labs, going to school, just a Mettler balance is so damn sensitive that you've got to put it on a seismic table. Nice, thick, heavy, damn table. Otherwise, anybody walking in the damn room will make it bounce around so much you can't read it.
Yes.
So and that was the whole idea behind some of the things that I did. I made that table that weighs about 100 pounds. I made it that heavy for that reason.
Yep.
I know if I set that thing out there just on a flimsy, little card table type thing, I'd have all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
But it was pretty amazing to see that. I'm glad we could find well, I'm sorry the earthquake happened, but I'm glad we got something to point at, because otherwise I had no damn explanation at all whatsoever. There was no way I could explain it, because I didn't touch it. Nothing touched it. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Now, there was another earthquake up in Alaska, in the Aleutian Islands, about 5,800 kilometers away. So, 2.5 times as far. But it was about 40 minutes before the event that we saw. And it was about a third the energy too. So it's unlikely we would have seen much out of that one. And the timing just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been interesting if you had your experiment running when the Mexican earthquake hit a day or so ago, because it probably would have recorded that one too, being about a 7 on the scale and being reasonably close. It probably would have affected it as well.
Oh yeah, easily could have.
And in generally the right direction.
You have to consider that Richter scale is logarithmic, and that 7.2 compared to what you see, what they record all the time are these little magnitude 1s and even lower with a real seismometer, but a magnitude 2 is something like 22 million times lower in energy release than a 7.2 is. The number's enormous.
So not only you built a Cavendish, you built a seismometer. There you go.
Accidentally. Well, like I said earlier, I think I was surprised when the USGS person sent me another email and said, "Hey, by the way, look up a torsion seismometer.
Mm.
They actually built them that way, and sure as hell, and it's so it's not a whole lot different than the Cavendish, other than the fact that the equivalent of the balance beam on this thing is a symmetrical deal, but on those torsion type seismometers, it's eccentric. It's all located just on one side. All the weight's on one side, so that'll cause the thing to torque. Mine didn't want to do that. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want to try to twist the wire at all. It just wants to make it swing.
Yep.
Actually, what I've got looks a lot like the LIGO mirrors when it gets right down to it. I've got the little weights on each end that are hanging from little short wires. So there's two little pendulums. And then the beam, which is hanging from the torsion wire, there's another one. So they got two pendulums in series. So I would venture to guess that the little weights in there don't move at all. I don't think they do. I think it's just the beam itself.
I was trying to find a good image of one.
What?
Yeah, look up
torsion.
Look up torsion seismometer.
Yeah, just Google torsion seismometer.
Yeah. Wow. We'll wind her up there. Have I heard of Calibri? It works with Zoom. Well, what's it do, Phil? Oh, well, we'll finish up there, Paul. Thanks, Paul, for your quiz and your background. You keep getting in the road all the time. Thanks. Alan's there somewhere. I know he's muted.
I'm surprised
Thanks,
no one's asked me to move out of the way for this one.
Thanks, Dora, Phil, Death, Rondell, John, Gary that was there, John, Andrea, Wolf, Spook. I've got it. Elmigs. I'm going to scroll up. Fred.
Move, Paul. Damn it.
Clive. Carl. Stevie B. Who have I missed? I know Conspiracy Cats was there earlier. Dart. Who else? Don't forget to mention Gary. It's good to see Gary's out there having a good convo with people out there, not arguing, which I like to see. Fondle, did I say you? Surf. Dora.
Well, he's welcome to argue as long as he argues politely.
Yeah. Oh, there's Alan Evans out there. That's it. I can't scroll up any further. If you haven't commented recently, you miss out. Phil says, I don't know. Okay then. That means I've got to find out myself now. Yeah, it might be a separate program that works with it. Alright. Oh, good night, panel. Good night, Peanuts. We'll see you. Hopefully we should see you on Saturday.
Depends whether Terry gets the tin cans and fishing line working again or not.
Oh, the internet not with it crashing on me there for the last month or two there, and then tonight it was half working, but not. All right, we're out of here, guys.
Righto. Good night, Peanuts.
Alan's